You tricked me. What? No, babe, yours is way better. Wilder, if you ever want to be inside me again, I suggest you don't lie. He winces and then runs his teeth over his lip ring. Shit, when you say it like that. He leans in close and whispers, Pips, I can't be certain if you put a nose on my face or a mini golf course with 2 holes. I gasp, but he keeps going. The eyebrows look like leeches, the eyes have 0 dimension, and the hair looks like a dead raccoon. Hey, I thought I did a good job on the hair. He shakes his head. Terrible, Pips, real bad. The only redeeming quality about the entire thing is my lip ring. I sit taller because I thought the same thing. I smirk and say, I did do a good job on the lip ring, did I? Very, honestly, brings the whole thing together. Yikes, who is that supposed to be? Chad asks from behind me. I look over my shoulder and stare up at him. Your mother, did I not capture her correctly? His face falls flat, and Wilder lets out a bark of a laugh while I sit there stunned, because where the hell did that come from? I don't think I've ever been that quick on my feet. Ever. Yet I oddly feel really proud. Cute, Chad says, moving away from me. Let me know her address so I can send it to her. He ignores me and walks over to where his wife is sitting while Wilder still laughs, trying to catch his breath. Oh fuck, that was good. Did you see the look on his smarmy face? Shit. He wipes under his eyes. I think you're finally coming into your own, Scotty. I smile. Yeah, I think I am. Chapter 25. Wilder. Welcome to our evening activities, Sanders says as he struts around in a pair of basketball shorts and a construction vest with nothing underneath. It's a look, that's for sure. Scotty's standing next to me, a smile on her face, looking happier than I've ever seen her. And it makes me fucking happy. Ecstatic. I remember the day I met her. She was worried, unsure, desperate to just make an impression and then get the hell out of the therapy session. Even when we first arrived at the camp, you could see there was something hanging over her. Something that was tamping down her joy, her energy. But now she's smiling. She exudes joy. She has an essence about her that's addicting. And today has been no exception. To be honest, I can't remember the last time I had this much fun. From the complicated tandem bike ride to the ice cream to the lakeside blow job to the picnic and cloud watching, it's been a day that I know I will never forget. And it's not the activities that made this day special, it's her reaction to the activities. It's the innocence and the amusement in her expression that I will remember because she's come out of her shell. Not to sound like a corny fuck, but she's blossomed right in front of my eyes, and it's one of the sexiest things I've ever seen. Tonight, we will be mixing drinks, but not just any kind of drink. I want it to be a drink that represents you as a couple. I want you to think long and hard about your relationship, your journey, and morph that into a cocktail. Then we'll be handing out the drinks to our judges, and they'll pick a winner based on taste and creativity. As always, our winners will get a prize, and trust me, you're really going to want to win this one. I lean into Scotty and say, hear that? A prize, a really good prize, want to go 3 for 3. I don't think we even have an option. We need to know what's going to be in that basket. That's my girl, I say, pulling her into my side. Please review the ingredients on the menu in front of you, pull your ideas together, and when you're done, bring your tumbler up to the bar, tell our bartender the ingredients, mix them, and then set your drinks in front of the judges' table. It will be a blind taste test, so the judges are hiding at the moment. Don't forget to name your drink. Good luck. Okay, this could be fun. I pick up the menu in front of us and say, any ideas? Well, we have to pick something that represents us, but we also want to make it good. So we can't be putting lager and fireball together. I mean, if you want to grow hair on the judges' chests, we could do that. I don't think it's recommended, she says on a laugh. Yeah, probably not. Okay, well, let's pick an alcohol base and work around that. Chad and his wife already head up to the bar, clearly ready to win as they lean over, hiding whatever the bartender is pouring in their tumbler. Seems premature. They didn't want to think it over at all. Just heading right on up there. Look at those overachievers. Bet they're doing something unimaginative like sex on the beach, I say, or bloody nipples. I pause and turn towards Scotty. What the fuck is bloody nipples? Is that what it's called? I sure as fuck hope not. She laughs and then says, wait, it's a slippery nipple. Oh, okay, yes, Jesus. Not bloody nipples, Scotty. Yeah, that didn't sound right. Bloody nipples is definitely not something I would want to put in my mouth. Slippery nipples, though, I nudge her shoulder. You know what, that's something we should add to the bucket list. Slippery nipples, I ask. A naked massage where my nipples get all slippery. My brows raise. And who do you plan on checking that bucket list item off with? She smirks up at me. Was hoping with my fake husband. Damn right. We have about 5 minutes left, Sanders calls out. Shit, this has a time limit. He didn't say that in the beginning, did he? I say. I don't think so. Okay, we need to focus. Let's go with tequila. Why tequila? I don't know. This is where you need to lean on your improv. Okay, how about? We got drunk off margaritas on our first date and ended up riding the subway all the way to Coney Island and back, chatting the whole time. Aw, that's kind of cute. It is. Okay, and then maybe some prickly pear because our relationship has been prickly, she says. Ooh, good one. Then we add some triple sec and lime juice. I think Mika always puts that in margaritas. He does, and some sweet and sour mix because we are sweet and sour. Love it. We circle the items on our menu. Should we add strawberries, she asks, like a few crushed on the bottom. I'm not opposed to it. Then let's do it. Together we walk up to the bar, hand one of the bartenders our drink, and he gets to work while we crush up some strawberries and put them at the bottom of 3 glasses. We need a name, I say. How about the prickly pear, but we spell it P-I-R? Nice play on words, babe. Thank you, she kisses my cheek and I smirk. Fuck, we're cute. I could not agree more. The bartender pours our drink into the glasses, and it comes out a light pink color that's actually pretty cool. Then we set our drinks on the judges' table, fill out a name card, and go back to our table. We both take a seat, and I loop my arm over Scotty's shoulder. What do you think? Do we have a chance? She looks around at the competition. I don't know. Brad's using a smoker with his wife, and Duncan rimmed his glass with something. Looks like crushed up graham cracker. Should we have done that? I have no idea. Margaritas are usually lined with something. Yeah, but I hate that, don't you? Despise it, actually. I don't want a mouthful of salt as I drink my drink. I turn to her. Scotty, are we meant to be? She chuckles and says, I think we might be. That makes me smile. I press a soft kiss to her lips just as the judges come out, and Sanders introduces them as if we don't already know them. It's Ellison and the keeper of the quarters at the front desk. Sanders takes a seat as well, but lets us know he's just trying them in case there's a tie. We all wait patiently and quietly as the judges go through each drink, taking sips and making notes on a notepad. Their faces reveal nothing. They remain stone-faced the entire time, indicating zero favoritism. So when Sanders stands with the results, we truly have no idea who the winner will be. I glance over at Chad, who's rubbing his hands together like the tool that he is. Brad is rocking back and forth. Duncan has his fingers crossed in front of him, and Finky's holding hands with his wife and covering his eyes at the same time. Clearing his throat, Sanders addresses the room. Thank you for all your entries. There was quite the variety up there tonight and some real innovation, but there was a clear-cut winner. He looks over his shoulder and says, "Drum roll, please." Ellison and Quarters both drum their hands on the table in front of them, and then Sanders holds up his hand to stop them. The winner of tonight's mixology competition is... I hold my breath, hoping we can go 3 for 3. The prickly pear. I leap up into the air, toss Scotty over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes, and start spinning her around while I whoop it up. She laughs the entire time, and I bring her up to the front, where we address the room. I set her down and keep her close as I say, "I'd like to thank my brother, who couldn't be here tonight, for being the best bartender I know. Without him, we would have forgotten about the sweet and sour mixture, which would have destroyed the overall flavor." I press my hand to my chest. I would also like to thank my beautiful wife for being the prickly pear in this relationship. Like I always say to her, she's prickly, but sweet like a pear. "Babe, do you have any words?" I gesture to her to take the floor, and for a second, I think she's going to back down, but to my surprise, she steps up. Huge shout-out to our first date, where we got drunk off margaritas and rode the subway all the way to Coney Island and back. I knew that night that if this man would ride on a subway with me for 31 stops, while street performers did the Macarena in front of us, then he was a keeper. I lean in and say, "Our first dance was the Macarena." Scotty waves her hand, "Thank you and good night." Duncan, the good man that he is out of all of them, claps while we walk back to our seats. Well, that ends the competition portion of our night. You're free to go back to your cabins or test out the drinks, Sanders says. As for Scotty and Wilder, you come with me. Time to collect the prize. Hand in hand, we follow Sanders out of the dining hall area. Easily, that was the best drink out of all of them, Sanders says. The smoke one, I think, is going to sit with me for a while. I think it killed some of my taste buds. Yikes, thank you, Scotty says. We wanted to keep it simple, but also reflect our relationship. We might have been prickly when we got here, but I think we're finding the sweet now. I think you are too, Sanders says, leading us out by the lake and into the forest, where there is a blanket set up, some wine and chocolates. This is your prize, an evening by the lake. He winks at us. Have fun. He takes off, leaving us alone in a partially secluded area. Well, would you look at this, I say, taking in the spread. And look, a present as well. What do you think is in it? Only one way to find out, I say as I take her down to the blanket that's plusher than I thought it was going to be. I hand her the gift, and she opens it. We both look in the box at the same time, and I smirk while she gasps. I reach in and pull out a curved orange dildo. One side is clearly for hitting the G-spot, and the other is a clit simulator, with a little flap that must simulate licking. And then right next to it, a matching cock ring and perineum stimulator. I look up at Scotty and smile. I know what we're doing tonight. What, she points at the orange dildo. What is that little flap thing there? That, Pips, is a clit stimulator. It flicks at your clit. She wets her lips and nods. Interesting. That's all you have to say. Interesting. I don't know what else to say. I've never seen something like that before. Does it intimidate you? I mean, a little. And what's the other thing? Is that for you? Yeah, it's a cock ring. And I think this is supposed to play with my perineum. She studies it. Is that going to fit around your penis? It looks small. I appreciate the compliment, and yes, they stretch. See. I show her and watch her eyes widen as she takes it all in. And you want to use those tonight? Yeah, doesn't that turn you on? I mean, it's scary. Scary? I shake my head. Not scary when you're with the right person who knows what he's doing. And you know what you're doing. Yeah, Pips. She wets her lips again and then shyly asks, what would you do? Smirking, I lean in closer and gently push a piece of hair behind her ear as I say, I would first make sure you were naked. I would strip you myself, but slowly. With every article of clothing I took off, I would make sure I spent time dragging my tongue and lips over every inch of your exposed skin, spending a luxurious amount of time on your perfect tits, then moving down between your legs, where I would lick you everywhere besides where you really want me. Her breath hitches in her chest, and her cheeks flush, which I find too fucking hot. Then I would move my fingers up your inner thigh to your cunt, where I would test to see if you were turned on. Tell me, would you be turned on? She nods her head slowly, and I reward her with kisses along her jaw. I move over to her ear, where I continue. With you ready, I would slowly slide the dildo inside you, letting you get used to the feel of it, but I wouldn't turn it on just yet. Instead, I would slip my cock ring on and turn it on, letting you watch me unravel. Letting you experience the kind of pleasure these toys could bring. Precum would fall past the tip of my cock, and I would swipe it and let you lick it off my fingers. That desperate mouth of yours would lick me clean. Wouldn't it, Pips? She nods again, and when I pull away, her eyes are heady, dazed, so I lay her back down on the blanket. I would let you watch me grow, let you see how goddamn stiff I am, how much I want release, and then I would turn it off. I would lie there and let my dick twitch, looking for relief, searching for it. I bring my hand to her shirt, and I lift it up just enough to press my palm to her heated skin. I would be so goddamn out of my mind with need that I would immediately turn on your dildo, because I would want you to feel the same thing. I would need you to be in the same position as me, begging for release, barely able to hang on. And at first, you would be surprised. You wouldn't know how to react to the new sensation. Not until I lowered my mouth to yours and started helping you relax, letting our tongues do the work. I lift up her shirt some more, exposing her bra. I pull one cup down and play with her nipple, rolling it between my fingers. And while we made out, I would play with your nipples like this. Just enough to turn you on even more, but not so much that it takes away from the sensation you're feeling down below. Her teeth pull over her bottom lip. And when I saw that your orgasm was starting to climb, I would turn my cock ring back on, and I would ask you to pump me, to let me fuck your hand. I would be so goddamn desperate for it that I would barely be able to hold back as your fingers wrapped around my girth. And as we climbed together, you getting all the goddamn pleasure you deserved while you were helping me come, I would stare into your beautiful goddamn eyes and think how lucky I am, how infatuated I am, how much I would want this moment to last forever. And when I'm on the verge, ready to come, you arching your back as your orgasm took over, rocketing through your body and making you clench around your dildo. I would lift my dick to your mouth, beg you to swallow me, and then bust all over your lips and tongue. I finish with pinching her nipple just enough to make her moan. Then I remove my hand and say, "Does that seem scary?" She wets her lips, and then in the sweetest fucking voice I've ever heard, she says, "With you, no." The lights go out in the dining hall when Finky and his wife are the last to retreat to their cabin. We're the only ones left out in the open, and it's what I've been waiting for ever since Sanders showed us our spot out here in the trees. "What kind of wine is that?" Scotty asks as she sucks down the last drop from her glass. "I think there is something special in there. I'm buzzing." Laughing, I nod. "I know, me too." I smirk at her and then tug on her arm. "I like you." "No," she shakes her head. "I like you." "Babe," I grow serious. "I like you." "Wilder, how many times do I have to tell you this? I like you." "How about we both agree that we like each other?" "Yeah, I can get on board with that, because I think you're great." "And I think you're great." Her fingers drag over my chest. "And I think you're sexy." She leans in and whispers, "The first night we slept in the same bed, I thought about you possibly touching me." Then she brings her finger to her lips and shooshes me, fucking adorable. "The first night we slept together, I had a dream about you," I admit. She clamps her hand over her mouth. Was it a sex dream? I don't think so. But a few nights later, I definitely had a sex dream about you. It was after you wore your bathing suit. Your ass is so fine. Your ass is fine. She pushes at my chest. No, babe, your ass is fine. The finest of all asses to ever ass. Is that a thing? I nod. It's a thing. An award that is only handed out to the best ass to ever walk, and Pips, that's your ass. I blow out a heavy breath and then pout. But I'm sad. Oh no, why? She cups my cheek. Because I want to see your ass again, and it's all covered up. Gosh, that is sad. I wish that it wasn't covered up. For your sake, I wish it wasn't as well. Well then, maybe. Maybe you can take your shorts off. She glances down at her shorts and then back at me. Want me to take them off and bend over in front of you? Please. She nods. I mean, I can't have you sad. She shimmies out of her shorts and then stands from the blanket, only to back up in front of me and bend over where she touches her toes. Christ, I mutter as I run my hands up her hamstrings and straight to her ass, pushing the bikini briefs to her center and gripping her ass tightly. Oh God, she moans and then stands. Staring down at me, she asks, what about my boobs? Do you miss those too? So much I might start crying. Please don't cry, she says as she reaches into her white shirt and undoes her bra. She tosses it to the side but leaves her shirt on. That's not good enough. I'm not done. Then to my surprise, she walks to the lake, steps into the water, and dips herself all the way down until the water reaches her neck. When she stands back up, the water weighs down her shirt, making it see-through as the fabric clings to her body. Mother of God. Holy fuck, I whisper as I stare at her perfectly hard nipples poking through the fabric. She straddles my lap and pushes me onto my back. My hands fall to her thighs as she starts to slowly undulate on top of me. Christ, Pips, I say while my hands run up her wet torso, my mouth desperate to touch her, to feel her, to suck on her. Her hands move to her breasts, and she starts squeezing them while on top of me, giving me one hell of a show. I grow stiff underneath her, letting her take the reins, enjoying this newfound freedom she's gained. Matt never let me dry hump him. He's a fucking moron, I say as she leans her hands against my chest now, anchoring herself. I need your shorts off. I want to feel more of you. I undo my shorts and pull them off as she helps me, leaving my boxer briefs on. She starts working my cock once she's seated again. That's it, baby, I say. Take what you want, what you need. Her teeth pull on her lip as she continues to move over me. You're so big, I love it. I love the way you fill me up. I've never felt anything like it. Her fingers claw at my shirt, which is growing wetter and wetter from her, so I tear it off my body and toss it to the side right before she bends down and takes my nipple in her mouth. Fuck, I shout, not caring if someone hears us. Yes, play with me. Use me. Her tongue flattens out and drags over my nipple, over and over again, while her hand pinches my other nipple, making it hard and sending a wave of pleasure straight to my cock, which causes me to jolt upward. I move her off my lap, and she looks up at me confused, but I say, stand up. Like the good girl that she is, she stands up, and I pull her shirt over her head, then push her underwear down her legs, leaving her completely naked. I strip out of my boxer briefs as well and take her hand. Let's check off something from your list. With that, I carry her to the water. Are we skinny dipping? We are. The water is decently warm, thank God, and when we reach the deeper part, she wraps her arms and legs around me. She presses her forehead against mine, and I can hear the smile in her voice when she says, "Can we fuck in here?" We can do whatever you want. She reaches between us, and she takes my dick in her hand, lines me up at her entrance, and then sits down, impaling herself. Her head falls back, and her grip on me grows tighter as she adjusts to my size. God, you're huge. She takes a few deep breaths and then brings her head back to mine, where she looks me in the eyes for a few seconds and then kisses me. She keeps me in place with her hands in my hair while her tongue darts into my mouth, opening me wide to her. I slide my hands around her and am filling her up with my cock while we float in the water, making out. It's so fucking intimate. Unlike anything I've ever done with a woman, yet it feels so right. It feels right being inside her. It feels like I belong here. Like this is who should be around me, with me filling up this hole I've had inside me for so goddamn long. Our tongues tangle, dancing over each other. Fuck, she tastes so good. So goddamn good. It makes me need so much more. So I find my footing on the bottom of the lake, grip her ass, and start moving her up and down on my cock. She presses her forehead to mine. "Oh my God," she whispers as her hands slide to my cheeks. "Fuck, Wilder, keep doing that." Water sloshes around us as I continue to pump her up and down, the water helping me maintain a good rhythm, creating an immense amount of friction. "Your piercings," she says. They feel so good. God." She starts tightening around me. "I'm sorry, fuck, I'm close, I'm sorry." The way she tightens around me makes me go feral. This feeling is what I crave, need, when she's about to contract on my cock over and over again. "Come for me, Pips. Come on my cock like a good girl." Her fingers dig into my shoulders, and she moves faster over me, controlling the pace as she lifts up and down. And it's so fucking good. The best goddamn feeling. "Wilder." She sucks in a sharp breath. Then she starts throbbing around me, pulsing. A moan falls past her lips right before she bites down on my shoulder to keep herself quiet. It's all I need, the pain and the pleasure. My orgasm shoots right down my spine, and I spill into her, both of us coming at the same time. I cup the back of her head as I dip down into the water and let it slosh over us as we both catch our breath. After a few seconds, she pulls away and smiles up at me before pressing a soft kiss to my lips. Then she chuckles again. "You know, this laughing thing after sex, not sure I'm a fan." She chuckles some more and then says, "I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know, this is crazy. I just had sex in a lake with a man who has 4 piercings on his penis. Like, if you had told me a year ago this is what I would be doing, I would have told you you were crazy." "Yeah, well, if you had told me a year ago I was going to pretend to be someone's husband at a marriage summer camp, I would have said, 'Where do I sign up?'" She laughs. "Have you always been like this, up for anything?" "Not always," I say as I stay inside her, loving this connection as I still live off the high of our orgasm. When my dad passed, I kind of made a promise to him to do as much as I could to always say yes. That's why I got into improv, not just because I needed more to do, but because the rule is yes, and I wanted to build that into my brain, that I'm a yes man, that I will live life to its fullest, because you never know when it's going to end. "I love that," she says, cupping my cheek. "I think I need to do more of that. This woman is courageous, beautiful, sexy as fuck. Brave. I think you already are." Chapter 26. "Scotty." "Morning," Wilder says as he kisses my shoulder, stirring me awake. I peep my eyes open and look around, taking in our cabin and the love-making minibar on the counter. "How did we get here?" I ask as I turn over, feeling Wilder's hand cross over my stomach. "I carried you back to the cabin," he says, his thumb caressing my skin. "You did?" I ask, surprised. "Wait, did I pass out last night?" He chuckles. "Yeah, Pips, you did. I had other plans when we got out of the water, but you changed those plans the moment you closed your eyes and started sleeping on my shoulder. I didn't have it in me to wake you up, so I brought you back here." I'm sorry. Wine does that to me." "It's fine." He leans down and kisses my forehead. "Breakfast was delivered to us this morning." I lift up and spot a tray on the table near the window. "What time is it?" "9." "What?" My eyes shoot open. "Seriously?" "Yes," he chuckles. That wine really conked you out. I made a note to never give you wine ever again. Are we missing anything? Wilder shakes his head. Sanders left us a note that said to take our time this morning and re-emerge when we're ready, which means we won't be ready until dinner. He wiggles his brows, and I push at his forehead, laughing. I roll away from him, surprised he doesn't grab me and pull me back into bed. I find his shirt on the ground, so I put it over my head. When I turn around to look at him, he has a disgruntled look on his face. Was kind of hoping for a naked breakfast this morning. You can be naked, I say, but I can't possibly sit there naked and eat a meal. Having my boobs out in the open like that while having a casual conversation is not ideal. Really, because it's ideal for me. I roll my eyes and take a seat at the table. Wilder grumbles and slips on a pair of shorts before joining me. Today, it's a make-your-own yogurt parfait, so I start by scooping some yogurt into my bowl, adding berries, granola, some chia seeds, and then a drizzle of honey on top. I cross one leg over the other and then pick up a spoon and start eating as I look over at Wilder, who hasn't moved. He's just staring at me. What? I ask. He slightly tilts his head to the side and says, "You're beautiful, Scotty." I can't hold back my smile as I look down at my yogurt. Thank you. I'm serious. This time I look him in the eyes and say, "I know you are." He nods and then still leaves his bowl untouched as he says, "Can I see you after this?" Hi. Can I take you out on a date after this, when we get back to the city? Oh, I shift in my seat. I mean, is that what you want? I wouldn't ask if that wasn't what I wanted. I know, but you said you weren't ready for anything like that. Dating, relationships. Well aware what I said, he replies, and I'm also well aware of what I'm asking now. I set my bowl down on the table, as things grow serious very quickly. I'd like to see you again, I say, not holding back the truth. But I want to make sure you're in the right headspace. You know, sure, this all feels great now, and there is some clouding of the brain from the fun we've been having, but when reality strikes and we're back in the city, I'm back at my job, and you're volunteering, I think there are a lot of factors that we need to consider. And I don't think I can risk the idea of being with someone who doesn't know completely what he wants. Scotty, I know I want to see you again. And I really appreciate that, I say, the scars on my heart feeling like they're being tugged on. But I've been hurt badly, and I can see myself becoming very attached to you. A part of me already has, and even though we're having fun, I can't risk that attachment out of fear that you're not going to be ready to take that step forward. But I am. I shake my head. It's so easy to say that when you're here at camp, with nothing else going on in your life. I just think maybe we need to have this conversation later, you know. He slowly nods his head. Yeah, I understand. He picks up a bowl and I can see the defeat in his shoulders, which makes me feel awful. Please don't be mad at me, I say. His eyes meet mine. I could never be mad at you, Pips, he says softly in that deep timbre. My number one priority when it comes to you is making sure you're comfortable. I want to make sure you're taken care of, and if this is how you feel, then that's that. This journey, it's about you. It's not about me. That makes me seem selfish. It doesn't, but even if it did, don't you think it's time for you to be a little selfish? I don't think there is ever a good time to be selfish, I reply. When it comes to your mental health, yeah, there's always a good time to be selfish. And you've worked hard while being here, Scotty. I'm really proud of you, so I don't want you to lose that momentum. And when he says things like that, it makes me want him that much more, because he's so understanding, supportive, the kind of guy that I want in my life. And that's why I worry, because I'm already attached. What happens when we get back to the city? He takes me out, I grow even more attached, and then he decides he's still not ready. He said it to my face. He doesn't do dating. He doesn't do relationships because he's not ready, because there are things hanging over his head that are preventing him from committing. I can't risk the possible heartache of falling for someone who, in the end, figures out that they're not ready. He might be feeling a certain way now, but how do I know he won't change his mind when we're back in reality? I can see your mind working over there, he says, just trying to figure out what's going on in my head. It's fine, babe, he says casually. I understand the assignment. What assignment? I ask. His eyes meet mine as he pauses, scooping some yogurt into his bowl. That I'm going to have to prove to you just how serious I am about this. Wilders, don't worry. There'll be no pressure, and this'll be entirely your decision, but don't think I'm not going to make it damn hard on you. He smirks and then plops more yogurt in his bowl. Get ready to be wooed, Pips. Tomorrow is our last day, Sanders says as he sits in his chair in a cut-off t-shirt with a green tie and jeans. You're free to go home, and I always take this day to go over what your plans are for when you return to regular life. Wilder has his arm around me as we sit side by side on the couch. After breakfast, he pulled me up by my hand and took me to the shower, where he teased me with the flesh sword. I swatted it away multiple times. There are things I will do, but backing up to a suction cup penis on the shower wall is not one of those things. Instead, I sat on top of Wilder and rode him, which was so much better than any other device in the cabin. Keeping the communication open, Wilder says. We were just talking about what we're going to do when we go home. Oh God, what is he going to say? And what was that conversation like? Sanders asks. She's hesitant, Wilder says. I think even though we had a good time here and made some great strides toward a better marriage, there's still the concern that if we aren't here at the camp, being challenged, we might fall back into old habits. That's a very valid concern, Sanders says as he picks up a hockey stick. He starts balancing a puck on the blade as he walks around. It's so distracting, something I will never get over. And it's the main concern I get from all my couples. So how do you think you'll combat it? I think we just need to keep having honest conversations and putting in the effort to be better, Wilder says. I know I have plans of my own to show her how committed I am to her. Care to share those plans? Sanders asks. Wilder shakes his head. Nah, they're not for her ears. Keeping a little mystery in the relationship. That's always good, as long as it's not hindering your communication. Sanders pops up the puck and catches it on the blade again. What about you, Scotty? What are your plans for when you get back? I look up at Wilder and then back at Sanders. I don't really know. Sanders pauses and his brows shoot up. You do know. Feeling the pressure, I shake my head. I'm just, trying to figure things out. He now takes a seat on the arm of the chair. Can I ask what there is to figure out? Is there doubt about your relationship with Wilder? Tongue-tied, I try to figure out how to answer, but before I can, Wilder says, I think she's been hurt. Wilder squeezes my shoulder. And I think it's easy to spend 8 days in the woods where you can forget about real life, but when you go back to your normal life, when you go back to your home, where you've experienced that hurt firsthand, it reminds you of the bad. And I think that's something we are going to have to overcome together. I don't blame her for having these feelings, Wilder continues, making tears well up in my eyes. Why is he so understanding? Why is he so great? I'm glad she has these feelings, because that means she's processing, which means she's trying to figure out exactly what she wants in her life. This time at Camp Haven has given us the chance to explore our wounds in neutral territory. Now the hard work is ahead of us, healing those wounds. I swipe at my eyes as tears fall down my cheeks. Why are you crying? Sanders asks. I suck in a deep breath and say, Wilder he has shown me what I deserve while I'm here, and I guess I'm trying to accept that. It's a confusing statement for someone who thinks we're married, but it's also a true statement for the relationship that Wilder and I really have. Sanders looks over at Wilder for confirmation. And of course, Wilder, being the honorable man he is, says, "She deserves the world, and I'm ready to give her that." My eyes well up again while my emotions get the best of me, because I want what he has to give me. I do. But I also know he has reservations. I know he might not be fully ready. And I know that I'm already growing attached. Not wanting to have this moment in front of Sanders, I stand from the couch and say, "Excuse me." The water laps against the dock poles below me as I dangle my feet, my hands resting on the edge of the dock. Ducks float across the water in front of me, and the distant sound of the camp winding down is behind me. There are some couples playing volleyball off to the left, another couple out on the lake in a rowboat, and a few couples are over at the dining hall doing arts and crafts. I've been sitting on the dock for probably a solid 20 minutes, quietly crying to myself when I hear footsteps along the wooden planks. I know exactly who it is. I wipe at my eyes, ready to be enveloped in Wilder's strong embrace, when someone clears their throat behind me. I look back, and instead of seeing Wilder standing there with his handsome face, it's Chad. God, not what I want to deal with right now. I turn back around, not wanting to give him the time of day, but he says, "Can I join you?" "If you need to," I say in an annoyed tone. I swipe at my eyes again, trying to clear out the tears. Chad doesn't get the hint and instead takes a seat next to me, causing me to scoot over so we're not sitting shoulder to shoulder. "I'm really not in the mood to spar, Chad." "I'm not either," he says in a subdued tone, any antagonization completely gone. That's when I look over at him and see just how defeated he seems. He lets out a shaky breath and says, "Things aren't looking good for me and my wife." "What?" I ask, turning toward him. This is not what I was expecting at all. They seemed fine. Happy. He slowly nods, staring down at his hands. "We're having a really hard time getting pregnant, and it's taking its toll on us. She's been taking hormones, and we've been having sex like clockwork, taking all the romance out of it, because now we're pinned to a calendar of ovulation." He pulls his hand over his face. "And I thought that maybe being here, getting a chance to reconnect, would help, but it doesn't seem like it's working." Stunned that he's even divulging this to me, I say, "I don't want to sound rude, Chad, but given our history, are you being serious? Is this a real confession?" I can see where the skepticism comes in, since we haven't had the best camaraderie since being here or in the office for that matter. But yeah, I'm being serious. She told me last night that she's no longer happy, and I honestly don't know where to go from here. Once again, not to be rude, but why are you telling me this? Aren't you closer with Brad or Finky, or even Duncan? "I am," he says, "but you're the one who I admire. You're the one that seems to have turned it around with your husband. You seem like someone who could give me some good advice." And just like that, guilt consumes me. So he didn't think we were faking it. He really believed me and Wilder? How? He made it seem like he was on to something. And now he wants advice. How can I sit here and give this man advice when I'm the one with a failed marriage? I'm the one who couldn't turn it around. I'm the one who couldn't muster up enough interest from her husband to even try. I know that we haven't really gotten along, and I know it's because I've been frustrated, and I took that frustration out on you unjustly. I was jealous. I was out of my mind, trying to hold it together, and unfortunately, you were the one I decided to take my anger out on. I'm really sorry, Scotty. I've been incredibly shitty to you. More tears well up in my eyes, and I let them fall, hitting my shorts, because I know that feeling. I know what he's going through, those thoughts of helplessness, yet he's coming to me for advice. Shit, I'm sorry, Scotty. I didn't mean to make you cry. I shake my head. It's not you, it's me. This is all on me. Are things with you and Wilder not going well? No, they are, I say as the truth bubbles up inside me. It's the guilt. It's the uncertainty. It's Chad thinking that I'm some sort of perfect person who can revive a dying marriage, when in reality, I'm just a fraud. And before I can stop myself, I say, things with Wilder are just, they're not real. He pauses for a second and then asks, wait, really? I nod. So all of this, it was a farce. I cover my face and let out a small sob, shaking my head. God, I'm so stupid. Gingerly, he pats my back, and I take that as his uncomfortable way of trying to comfort me. But he shouldn't have to be comforting me, because this is all a lie. My entire relationship with Wilder, it's been a lie, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but now that Chad is coming to me for advice on how to fix his marriage, I can see it's very much a big deal. Because I don't want people getting the wrong impression about me and Wilder, thinking that maybe some communication can solve things, because that's not true at all. I tried communicating with Matt, and look where I am now. At a marriage camp with a fake husband, learning that there are actually good men out there. I had just married a dud. Despite a slight concern this could backfire on me, I decide honesty is better for Chad. It's time to be honest all around. That's probably the best way to step forward. Wilder is not my husband, I say. He's my best friend's brother. He came with me here to pretend to be my husband. The fighting, the arguing, it was all a farce. I turned to look at Chad through watery eyes. I was trying to fit in at work, and when you called me out in the conference room, I just felt like I needed to save face, so I went along with the lie. I'm so sorry, Chad. It was stupid, and I shouldn't have made you think that my marriage could be so easily fixed when that's not the case at all. Because the reality is I was married to a man named Matt, and we couldn't work it out. I carry that guilt with me every day, something I didn't realize until I came here. So yeah, don't come to me for marriage advice, because my marriage failed. Silence falls between us, and I don't blame him. What can he really say to that? Wow, he says, and I brace myself for the snide comments, for the victory parade that he's in the right and I'm in the wrong. But instead, he turns toward the lake and says, I'm sorry, Scotty. What? I say, wiping at my eyes. I'm sorry. I know what it feels like to have your marriage slip through your fingers, watching it slowly float away, and no matter what you do, you can't do anything about it. I'm really fucking sorry. Wow, was not expecting that. Chad taking the high road. I'm shocked. Thank you, I answer softly. I'm sorry about you and your wife. Matt and I never tried to get pregnant, and I think it's because when we were ready, we both kind of knew that it wasn't something that would help the marriage, only hinder it, so I can't imagine what you're going through. Yeah, it's not easy. He blows out a heavy breath and then lightly chuckles. You know, at first I thought that maybe something was up, something was fishy, but then the more I watched you, the more I pushed that thought away. And to be honest, you had me fooled. I could have sworn you and Wilder were married. The way you two interact together, how he looks at you, it seems real, at least from the outside. I press my lips together, more tears coming to my eyes. It turned into something when we were here. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, there are feelings between us. Then why are you crying? He asks. Because I'm scared, I answer honestly. I put my whole heart into my marriage, but I was ignored. My needs were ignored. He wasn't interested in me, and it did a number on my confidence. When I moved to New York, I was trying to start a new journey, a new chapter, but I realized that it was pretty hard with all the baggage I was carrying. Wilder, he opened my eyes to that baggage and had me face it head-on with him by my side. He made me see my worth and made me stand up for myself. He's been so different from Matt, and that scares me because I can see myself growing attached. But you don't want to get hurt again, Chad finishes for me. I can't get hurt again, I say softly. I'm still so raw, and Wilder previously told me he's not in a position to know what he wants when it comes to relationships and dating, but he wants to try. But you're too scared to try when you know you already have an attachment. Correct, I say, surprised that Chad gets it so well. It's hope, he says. It's debilitating because when it doesn't work out, you have to be the one that sits in that crushed hope and figure out how to swim your way out. I get it. I'm there right now. Coming here to a place we loved before, I had all the hope in the world that we would make things work, but I just don't think that's going to happen. He sighs. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry too, I say, and then put my arm around him and rub his back. And I'm sorry I lied. I'll come clean to everyone. No, don't, he says. This can stay between you and me. I get why you did it. We haven't made it easy for you to fit in at the office. Yeah, but I can't keep up this farce. People will ask. So, are you saying you're not going to at least give it a shot with Wilder? Because there has to be something there, right? There is, I say. I've never been treated the way he treats me, and I know he's genuine, because he's not the kind of man who would blow smoke up my ass. But he's also 2 years younger and doesn't quite know what he wants. And I can't be his guinea pig, you know. I get that. I pull my legs and close. It feels so weird talking to you about this, but I think I need to come clean. As I'm hearing you talk about you and your wife, it makes me think I shouldn't give out false hope. And I know everyone is different, and I truly hope that you and Danielle work things out, but Wilder and I shouldn't be the ones that people look up to. I understand, he says, and then we sit there in silence for a moment, both of us staring out at the lake. If you ever want to chat about this some more, Chad, you can always come into my office. Same, Scotty, same. Is everything okay? Sanders asks as I take a deep breath. I asked Sanders, Ellison, and Wilder to meet with me in the therapy cabin. I haven't seen Wilder since I left our session, so when he came up to me, looking concerned, I felt incredibly guilty. But this needs to be done. No, not really. I twist my hands on my lap, feeling really nervous and hoping this doesn't affect me and my job. I need to come clean about something. I feel Wilder stiffen next to me, but I keep pushing forward. When I told the office that I was married and that my husband and I were going through some rough times, I lied. Ellison sits up straight, looking confused. Wilder is my best friend's brother, who is into improv and volunteered to act as my husband. What? Sanders says, looking confused. What are you doing? Wilder asks me under his breath. I can't do this anymore, I say, and then address Ellison. I'm sorry I lied. I wanted to feel like I was a part of the company and the marriage clique. I tried to fit in like an idiot, and well, you see how that went. The truth is I was married to a man named Matt, and we couldn't make it work. All the things I told you in our sessions, Sanders, those were things about Matt. All the struggles I faced, the lack of confidence, they all derived from my first marriage. Wilder was just kind enough to go along for the ride and take the brunt of all my complaints. I see, Sanders says as he leans back in his chair and studies us. I'm really sorry, Ellison, and I know if you want to hold this against me, I understand. Lying does not belong in the workplace. I want you both to know that this was all on me and not on Wilder. No, Wilder says, I played an equal part. Why are you telling me this now? Sanders asks. Because I just had a conversation with another camper, asking me for advice on how I was able to make things right with Wilder, and I realized that being deceitful is helping no one. And in the long run, I don't want to keep up with the charade. I look Sanders in the eyes. I'm really sorry I wasted your time, that I made a mockery of this camp by lying. You deserve so much more respect than what I've given you. Then I look at Wilder. And I'm sorry I wasted your time, and that I put you through a week of carrying my baggage. You didn't, he says quickly, but I keep moving forward. I called my friend. She's coming to pick me up. I really don't want to stay much longer. I hope that's okay. And again, I'm really sorry. I go to stand, but Sanders holds out his hand. One moment. He crosses his arms across his chest and studies me and Wilder. So you're telling me you two are not in a relationship? No, I shake my head, but you pretended to be. That's correct, I answer. And like I said, I'm really. I know you're sorry, he says. I'm just trying to understand what the hell I see between you two, though. Because what I've noticed the last few days, that is not made up. The way you look at each other, touch each other, work so well together, that's not improv. It's not for me, Wilder says. I wet my lips. It wasn't for me either. So then you two have feelings for each other. Sanders motions between the two of us. I mean. Yes, Wilder says. I have feelings for her. I look in his direction and he nods. I do, Pips. I have feelings for you. I do too, I say shakily. You know I do. Then why are you having Denise, I'm assuming, come to pick you up? Because I'm scared, I answer honestly. Really scared. I shouldn't have feelings for someone I just met, and here I am thinking about you all the time, loving being next to you, wanting to see your handsome face whenever I get a chance. I don't want to get hurt, and everything I'm feeling right now is setting me up for that. Are you going to hurt her? Sanders asks Wilder. He pauses for a moment, his eyes moving between me and Sanders. Then, in an uncertain tone, he answers, I don't want to. And that right there, that's the problem. That single answer pushes a wave of insecurity through me. He's an honest man, I know this about him. Yet he doesn't seem to give a definitive answer when asked about relationships. It's an I don't want to, or I think I want that. I can't work with I think. I need to know exactly what he wants. But you think you might? Sanders asks. Wilder looks me in the eyes and then glances down at his hands. I don't want to. And that's the answer I was looking for. That's the answer I needed. I like him a lot. I do. But until he can figure out what he wants, I can't risk it. Which means I'm also extremely thankful for what we've had. I wouldn't have learned as much about myself had I not spent this time with Wilder. I wouldn't have learned that it's okay to say no to uncertainty. I wouldn't be able to walk away even if it hurts. Chapter 27. Wilder. What the hell is wrong with me? The minute I said it, I knew it was the wrong answer. It was almost as if I could feel Sanders's internal groan, telling me, wrong answer, you fool. Trust me, I get it. I'm going to go, Scotty says as she stands. I need to pack. Scotty, Ellison says, standing as well. Scotty turns to her, and I can see tears forming in her eyes. Don't worry about this. I understand the pressure you were under to fit in, and it takes a lot of character to recognize when you were wrong. Take the next few days off, and I'll see you in the office on Monday. Really? Scotty asks. Really? Thank you, she smiles softly. For what it's worth, Sanders, you did help me close a chapter on a marriage that I struggled with. He nods. But if you're still scared, did I really help you close a chapter? She worries her lips and then sadly smiles. Thank you for everything. She starts to leave, so I get up as well, but Sanders stops me. Wilder, a word. I glance toward Scotty and then back at him. Sure. Scotty, I'll meet you in the cabin. She takes off, and I sit back down and wait for whatever is to come my way. He turns to Ellison and says, Could you give us a moment, darling? Of course. She places a kiss on his cheek and then takes off, leaving me alone once again with the man who has the most interesting wardrobe I've ever seen. When the door closes, he picks up a football and tosses it to me. I catch it, and he asks, What's the holdup? What do you mean? I toss it back to him. That answer. What's the holdup on reassuring her that you're not going to hurt her? I don't know, I say. It was the wrong thing to say, I know that. But what if I do end up hurting her? I don't want to be that guy. I understand that, he says, but let me ask you this. He tosses me the ball, and I catch it. If she were to end things right now with you and say that she just wants to be friends, how would that make you feel? Ill, I say. Actually fucking ill. I grip the ball tightly. I wasn't expecting to come into this marriage camp thing and grow feelings for someone I'd never met, but every day I spent with her, I started to see how fucking cool she is. How strong she is. How independent and determined. She's funny, and she challenges me, and I like all that about her. Yeah, I can see that. And I want to prove to her that I can be the man that she needs, but I also want to be careful, because I know that she's cautious. I just don't know what the fine line is. The fine line is you're either in or you're out, Sanders says. With a woman like Scotty, you can't casually pursue her. You're either all in or you don't do it at all. And I can see it in you. I can see that you can be that man who goes all in, but you have to commit to it. What were your parents like? They had the greatest marriage until they didn't, I say. My dad was in a car accident, became a quadriplegic. It was hard. My mom carried a lot of stress and ended up cheating on my dad. It was really shitty, and I've worked through a lot of it in therapy. My brother is still working on it. My relationship with her is decent. My dad passed, and my main concern is taking care of my brother and making sure he's okay. I don't want to lose him as well. Sanders nods. Ever think that you're possibly committing to your brother, and that's why you can't quite commit to Scotty, because you're afraid it might stretch you too thin? I pause and think about it. Shit, is that the holdup? I can see by the surprise in your expression that I might have just hit the nail on the head. He claps his hands for the ball, and I toss it to him. You need to speak with your brother, because if you want a shot with Scotty, that relationship needs to be resolved. Chances are he doesn't want the emotional commitment you've enveloped him with. True, I hadn't thought about it like that. He was bullied as a kid, and I guess I just wanted him to feel secure in himself. He wanted to cut out of life early after Dad died, if you get what I'm saying. I grimace, hating that I've just shared something so personal about Mika. That would have been extremely traumatic to walk through for the both of you. And now, where do you think he is emotionally? Does he still need you as his crutch? Well, he's my brother, so I'll always prioritize his emotional health. He tosses me the ball, and I catch it. Commendable, but maybe a conversation needs to be had there. Yeah, probably, I say. And then what will you do if there is no need for you to be his emotional guard dog? I drag my hand over my jaw. I need to think some more. Well, do that. Decide if you're all in. And if you are, be as honest as you have been while at camp, because your honesty helped Scotty find hers. That's a good thought to take away. You're right. I know I am. He smirks, lightening the tension. I stare at him for a second and then ask, why all the sports stuff? Do you really think marriage is like a team sport? He chuckles. Sure, you can look at it that way. You can also see it as something that eases anxiety for some people who might be against a traditional therapy session. It also takes people's minds off speaking the truth and relaxes them more. Also keeps me busy and entertained. There are many reasons for it, and they all seem to work. They don't call me the best for no reason. Hell, I was able to bring two people who didn't even know each other together. I laugh. Yeah, you're right about that. I'm right about a lot of things, Sanders says with some cockiness. And the clothes? I ask, nodding to his attire. He glances down at his outfit and then back up at me. What's wrong with my clothes? Dude, I eye him. Your point. I shake my head. Never mind. At this point, heading to the cabin to talk to Scotty and tell her to come home with me is not going to happen. She has her mind set on leaving, and if that's what she wants to do, then I'm going to let her do that. What I need to do right now is reassure her. I open up the cabin door and find her suitcase on the bed, and the sight of it makes my stomach turn. God, Sanders is right. How would I feel if she just ended things right here and now? I know I wouldn't like it, not one bit, which means I need to have some conversations. Scotty walks out of the bathroom with her toiletries but doesn't look at me as she sticks them in her bag. She's avoiding, and I can understand why. She's been through a lot the last few hours. I'm sure she just wants to get the hell out of here. Can I help you? I ask. I think I got everything, she says as she closes her suitcase and zips it up. She pulls the suitcase to the floor and then reaches for her purse. She stuffs a few things in there and then sets it on top of her suitcase. When is Denise going to be here? Soonish, I think. She started driving when I called her, and she was actually up in New Rochelle for a job, so it worked out. Good, I stick my hands in my pockets. Can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, of course, she answers. I move over to the bed and take her hand, pulling her down to sit with me. I keep her hand in mine and rub my thumbs over her knuckles for a few seconds before I look her in the eyes. I think you're really brave, I tell her, causing her to look down. I place my fingers under her chin and lift her gaze up so she has to look at me. What you did back there, telling the truth and apologizing, that takes a lot of guts, and it's something not a lot of adults can do. I'm really proud of you. Thank you, she says quietly, which means I need to do the same. I continue to stroke her hand. I'm sorry for not answering the question back there properly. I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to be in a position where I might hurt you, because you deserve to find the right person to make you happy, not bring you tears. Do I think I can be that person? I do, I say with a nod. But there is something I need to take care of first, and before I commit to you, I need to deal with that. I understand completely. But I need you to know something before you leave this cabin, okay? She nods. I need you to know that this is not goodbye. That when you get back to the city, I will most likely be at your doorstep, wanting to see you, wanting to hang out, just wanting to talk. I've grown accustomed to having you around, and I can't just go without talking. How do you feel about that? I feel the same. You do? I ask, surprised. Yes, I do. Okay, good, that's. But I'm also hesitant, she adds. And I get that, and I know that earning your trust is something I'll have to work on. I trust you, Wilder. Trust in what I can provide, I say, wanting to clarify. I know you've been through a lot. If there's one thing I don't want you to ever experience again, it's that feeling of insignificance. I'm in awe of you, and I know with certainty that I want to be a better man for you. You deserve to be worshipped, so I'm going to prove that I can be the man who can do that. I'm going to prove that and more to you. Wilder, you don't have to prove. I do, I say, feeling that answer all the way down to my toes. I do. I bring her hand up to my lips and kiss her knuckles. Okay. She nods, okay. Good, I stand up. Now, there's one thing I need to give you before you leave. I pull out the Nerds clusters from one of the baskets on the dresser that we didn't finish. When I pass them to her, it makes her chuckle. When you eat these, think of me. You're really giving me the Nerds clusters. Babe, that's how much I like you. Busy, I say as Mika opens the door to his apartment. Holy shit, he says, pulling me into a hug. I didn't think you were coming home this early. I hug him back and then release him. Yeah, neither did I think we can talk. His expression falls. Uh-oh, did you hurt her? I shake my head. Nah, man, trying not to hurt her. I don't like the sound of this. Can you just let me in? He scans me with his eyes, debating in his head, but then he lets me in his apartment and leads me into the living room. As I take a seat on the couch, he says, I have water and Coke Zero from the corner store. The good corner store. According to your app, the best corner store. Then I'll take one. He grabs 2 Coke Zeros, opens them effortlessly like the skilled bartender that he is, and then hands me one before taking a seat. What happened? To make a long story short, I have feelings for her. She got scared because of her past, and when asked if I would hurt her, I said I didn't want to. He pauses mid-drink and then lowers his can of soda. You said you didn't want to instead of saying I won't hurt you. Yeah, I pull on the back of my neck. Not my best showing, that's for damn sure. But it's why I'm here, because I need to talk something through with you. Okay, he says, seeming nervous. I need to talk about Mom. His expression falls. Dude, I'm going to need something stronger than a Coke Zero to have this conversation. I know I'm springing this on you, but it's important, okay? He lets out a huge sigh and then turns to me. Okay, what's going on? I need to know something. Given all the hard work you're doing in therapy and the strides you've taken to better your mental health, do you think there will be a time when you might be okay with being in the same room as her again? He lets his tongue run over his teeth as he looks off to the side. I want to, he says. I really fucking do. There are times that I miss her. Times that I wish that we could do things together as a family, like Thanksgiving or Christmas. But every time I see her, I think back to that day, and I get so angry. I know, I say, I get the same feeling. Then how are you able to be around her? Because I know that Dad would not want us to be split apart like we are. I think about him, and I think about what he would have thought about the division. Cheating on him with his best friend. You think he would have been okay with that? No, but also Dad wouldn't have wanted us pausing our lives to take care of him. You and I both know that. He probably would have asked us to move on, to put him in a care facility if he had a chance to express himself. Mika shakes his head. No, he would have wanted to be with his family, his wife. Mika, I say softly while setting my drink down. Do you remember Dad before he got in the accident? Of course I remember him, Mika says, sounding insulted. Do you remember how he told us over and over how much he wanted us to live our lives when we were older? How he wanted us to explore, to love, to live? Mika nods his head. He wouldn't have wanted us hanging around, waiting on him. You've got to know that, Mika. He glances down at his hands. It takes him a second, but then he slowly nods. Yeah, I know you're right, but it's hard to look at it that way when you love someone so much. It is. It's really fucking hard, Mika. This entire situation is hard. Losing our dad when we were in high school and college. Our mom having to raise us, keep a smile on her face like everything was okay while her husband was slowly dying. The entire situation was fucking awful, but I think we need to find some forgiveness. And I know that's something you're working on, and I'm proud of you for it. Yeah, he tugs on his hair. It's been harder than I expected. And that's okay. Everyone goes at their own pace. But I need to know that you're working your way in that direction. Why? He asks, seeming confused. Why do you need to know? I let out a breath and prepare myself, because this is going to be the hardest part of this conversation. Because I need to know that you're going to be okay. I can't lose you, Mika. I've lost a piece of Mom. I've lost Dad. You're all I have left, and I can't fathom the thought of losing you as well. Wilder, I'm fine. No, don't do that, I say with a stern voice. Don't bullshit me. Don't tell me you're fine just to say it. Look at me and tell me how you're really fucking doing. He blows out a heavy breath and stares out past my shoulder for a few seconds before he brings his gaze to mine. I'm doing better. I am. It's been small steps, but I'm doing better. A hint of relief washes through me. I think when I was in that dark time of my life, I didn't find much hope in anything. But now that I'm in therapy, now that I'm working on myself, I'm finding joy in simpler things. Really, I ask. Don't lie to me just to appease me. I mean it, really. He sits up. I've been making changes in my life, changes to adjust my trajectory. Like what? I ask, surprised by this. Well, I started taking some mixology classes because I was talking to a friend about becoming a bartender at an exclusive club. I would be paid way more, plus I would have benefits, and the work would be more challenging, more precise. There would be more opportunities to be creative. Not to mention mixing drinks would be more about the quality at an exclusive club rather than the quantity. Wow, when did this happen? While you were at marriage camp, he smirks. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is great. I'm happy for you, man. Thanks. He fully turns toward me, and I can see it, right there, the lightness in his expression, the joy in his demeanor. He really is doing better. So how does this have anything to do with my friend? Right. I move my hand over my jaw. I don't want you to get upset when I tell you this, but I've sort of put things on hold in my life as I've tried to navigate the family drama and make sure that you're okay. And what it comes down to is, I don't think I can move on or give Scotty my everything if I'm not sure that you're going to be okay. His expression morphs into surprise. Wait, really? Yeah, man, you matter the most to me. And I appreciate that, but Wilder, you need to live your life. Is that why you haven't gone anywhere? Why I keep telling you to go on a trip, but you won't? You just stay here in the city? Because you're worried about me. Yeah, Mika, listen, what happened that day was a mistake, he says, but it scared the fuck out of me. I point to my chest, and I never want that to happen again. It won't, he says seriously. I promise it won't. I'm better. I'm in a better place. I promise you, you won't ever have to worry about that again. Really? I ask. He nods. I fucking promise. Okay, I say, feeling myself relax for the first time in a really long time. I stare out the window, but he pulls my attention back by saying, So, what about Scotty? I like her, I say simply. And now I need to show her how she deserves to be treated. Because you messed up. I shake my head. No, because she needs to know that she's worth another human's time. She needs to realize that she's not forgettable. Mika nods his head. And you think you can do that? I know I can. I just need to visit someone to help me out. Chapter 28. Scotty. Denise, you seriously not coming out tonight? I stare down at the text from my friend and sigh as I stand in front of the window AC unit of my apartment, trying to get over the city's summer heat. Scotty, no, it's hot, muggy, and I just want to stay home. Denise, you can't hide forever, Scotty. I know I told you we didn't have to talk about it in the car yesterday, but I feel like going out to the bar, having a few drinks, and just discussing things to get them off your chest would be a really good idea. Scotty, really, I'm fine. Denise, you didn't seem fine in the car. Scotty, trust me, I am. No need to worry about me. Denise, I'm worried. I shake my head and set my phone down because I'm not in the mood. I spent all day cleaning my apartment from top to bottom, making sure I scrubbed every last inch. I did this to keep my mind off things, off the camp, off my last conversation with Wilder. And it worked up until I had nothing else to clean. So then I cleaned myself. And once again, I scrubbed every inch, even took an old toothbrush filled with soap between my toes. That was a new experience. So now I rival the cleanliness of a bleach-scrubbed wall, which feels great. But because it's so muggy in the city today, it's ruining the vibes. Knock, knock. I glance behind me at my door and roll my eyes. Denise. God, I love her as a friend, but seriously, when she has her mind set on something, she does not let it go. Should have known she was going to come over. I peel myself away from the AC unit, head over to the door, unlock it, and open it. Denise. I stop mid-sentence as a pair of steely gray eyes meet mine. Wilder, I say, feeling incredibly surprised. For one, I didn't expect to see him this soon, and two, I didn't know he knew where I lived. Also, he didn't buzz into the building. What are you doing here? It's fucking hot out today, isn't it? He asks as a greeting, Yeah, it is. I grip the door tightly. Again, what are you doing here? Good to see you too, Pips. He folds his arms and leans against the doorframe. I was coming to see if you want to go to the movies with me. It's hot as hell, and I have the perfect place that has salty popcorn and sweet ices. You want to go to the movies? I ask, feeling all sorts of confused. Yeah, your pick. There are quite a few showings in the next half hour that you can choose from, some old and some new. Plus, it's air-conditioned, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the things on your bucket list that you want to check off, right? Uh, what's happening here? I cross my arms as well and say, I don't understand. He steps in close and then presses 2 fingers under my chin, lifting my gaze to his. In a deep, rumbly voice, he says, I promise I won't hurt you, but I know actions speak louder than words, so I'm here to prove it. He cups my cheek now and whispers, Come to the movies with me. Give this a chance. I stare into his eyes, and all I can see is sincerity. This man is genuine. He's serious. He came to me when he said he would. I told you, you don't have to. And I'm telling you I need to, he says. So please come to the movies with me. Nerves pulse through me, insecurity runs rampant, and before I can answer, I need to talk this out. Can you give me a second? Sure, he says. Want me to wait out here? No, I shake my head. You can wait in my living room. I let him in, but he stops right next to me, wraps his arm around my waist, and cups my cheek. He pushes my chin up with his thumb and then lightly kisses my lips. The press of his familiar mouth and the grip of his comforting hold reinforce why I have feelings for him, because he's everything Matt was not. When he pulls away, he whispers, Missed those lips. Then he walks into the living room, and I shut the door behind him. He takes a seat on the couch, and I grab my phone off the coffee table. Just 1 second. I hold up my finger. Do what you need to do, Pips. He drapes his arms over the back of the couch. I'm just going to get comfortable. Okay, I say, and then move to the back of my apartment and into my tiny closet that is stifling hot. But I don't care because I need privacy. I click on my group FaceTime with Denise and Mika and wait impatiently for them to pick up. Denise is the first one to answer. She's eating a peach and cleaning her makeup brushes. Where are you? She asks. In my closet, I answer as Mika picks up as well. He's wearing his earbuds and he's walking down the street, probably on his way to work. What's going on? Why is it so dark where you are? Listen, I whisper in my closet. I don't have much time, so I need to be quick about this. Wilder is in my living room. Then why the hell are you in your closet? Denise asks. Is that where you are? What is that paisley fabric next to your face? Ma'am, that's a no from me. Please, can we not do this right now? I need some advice. If you should go out with my brother, the answer is yes, Mika says. I agree, Denise says. Is that it? Did we solve the problem? I mean, sort of. There's more to it than that, I say. Okay, then what's the problem? Mika asks. Because as far as I know, he's the greatest guy you will ever meet. I can vouch for that. Derek has had him over a few times, and he's a really stand-up guy. Super respectful and always helpful. I know that, I say. Okay, so once again, what's the problem? Yeah, because I don't really see one. The guy is hot, he's rich, he has an upstanding personality, and we know if he's there, his intentions are pure, because he's not going to do anything that hurts his brother's best friend. We all know how much he cherishes his brother. Therefore, he would never do anything to hurt him. Very poignant, Denise, Mika says as a car honks in the background. Thank you. So, this call really isn't necessary, Mika says. I'm scared, I'm able to squeeze out. They go silent for a second, and then Denise says, You can't live in fear, Scotty. Don't let what Matt did to you control your future. You have to put yourself out there again, physically and mentally. I know it's scary, and I know you don't want to get hurt again, but I wouldn't encourage you if I thought this was going to hurt you in the long run. He won't hurt you, Mika says. He won't. Let him show you how you're supposed to be treated. Give him a chance, Denise adds. I squeeze my eyes shut for a moment, letting their words sink in. They're right, I know they are. Wilder has shown me nothing but patience, understanding, and kindness. He's been a shoulder to lean on, a sturdy rock when times are tough, and he's helped me have more confidence in myself. He's helped me see my worth. There should be no question. This should be an easy answer. I let out a deep breath and nod my head even though they can barely see me. You're right. You're both right. We know, Denise says in a lighter tone, making me chuckle. Give him a shot. You won't regret it, Mika says. We love you, and we know you can do brave things. Thank you, I say. Love you guys too. Then we say our goodbyes, and I let myself out of the closet and take a second to steady my breathing and calm my nerves. Denise is right. I can't let what Matt did dictate my future. I need to rise above that, not be scared to give someone else a chance and let people into my life. And if I can trust anyone, I think I can trust Wilder, especially after what he said to me yesterday. Words I can't ignore. If there's one thing I don't want you to ever experience again, it's that feeling of insignificance. I'm in awe of you, and I know with certainty that I want to be a better man for you. You deserve to be worshipped, so I'm going to prove that I can be the man who can do that. He heard me. He wasn't deterred by my resistance to dating him, because he heard me. My fears, my desires, my hopes. He's such a good man. So with courage, I walk back into my living room where Wilder is waiting for me and I say, "What movie should we see?" "Okay, what do you want?" Wilder says as he holds my hand in front of the concessions. "Popcorn," I say, feeling oddly giddy. This seems so stupid, so mundane, but then again, when you spend years of your life wanting to do something so simple like this and your partner in life doesn't want to, the experience is heightened. That's a guarantee. What else? I'm going to get an issy. There's Coke flavored over there, so I think you know where I'm headed. Do you want one too? Yeah, I think I do want one, I say. Awesome. And we need some candy too. But the important question is, do we go with a chocolate base or a gummy base? Wrong choice, he says with a wink. We get both. He pulls me up to the register, asks for a bucket of popcorn and 2 large ices, and then has me pick out the candy. I go with peanut M and MS and red vines. He praises my choice, and then we head on over to fill up our ices and popcorn. What if I mix the cherry issy with the Coke-flavored one? I ask. He pauses and slowly turns toward me. Pips, I don't think I've ever heard of a better idea. We must. Chuckling, we take turns mixing our drinks, passing the cups back and forth as we layer up the flavors. Then we cap off our drinks, grab our napkins, and head to the theater with all our goodies. Of course, we're about 20 minutes early, so when we find our seats, the theater is pretty empty. Okay, let me see the popcorn, Wilder says. I hand him the popcorn, and he starts pouring it into the nacho trays he asked for, which confused me at first, but now I see why he wanted them. He opens the M and MS and sprinkles them over the popcorn, then places some red vines on the side. When he's done, he hands me a tray and says, "When you need a refill, let me know. Also, try eating an M&M along with some popcorn. Pure magic in your mouth." Okay, let me test this out. I pop a piece of popcorn and an M&M in my mouth and let the salty and sweet combination mix on my tongue. After I swallow, I look Wilder in the eyes and I say, that's really good." He smirks, I know. Then he pops some in his mouth as well. Follow it up with some issy, that's the real treat. You act like you do this all the time. Well, for a guy who doesn't really do much, I'm not shy about attending a matinee. I can see that. I turn toward him as ads play on the screen. Not to bring down the mood, but I feel like we need to talk about what happened at camp." "Sure," he says. "What do you want to talk about?" "Can I ask what made you change your answer?" "I had a conversation with Mika," he says, growing serious. "We talked about our mom and his mental health. I explained to him the roadblock I've had with moving on with my life. He told me that he was going to be okay and promised he wouldn't go to that dark place again, and if he felt like he was going to, he would tell me." So, his Adam's apple bobs. With that behind me, I felt confident that I could move forward in my life too. Sanders actually helped me comprehend that I'd possibly inserted myself into Mika's life as a crutch, and that Mika might not need his brother in that capacity anymore. So we talked that through, and here I am. "But do you really think you're ready for it?" I ask. "Because I don't want you jumping into something that you're not fully ready for." His lips turn up. "I knew you were going to say that, and I have a response for you. Yes, I am ready, and I'm going to have a lot of fun proving that to you." "What do you mean?" I ask. He boops me on the nose. "Let me figure that out, and you just sit back and enjoy the ride." "What does that mean?" "That means," he leans forward, cupping my chin, "you relax and enjoy." He kisses my lips softly and then leans back and tosses more popcorn in his mouth. "I really wasn't expecting that twist at the end," Wilder says as he walks me up to my door. I pause and turn to him. "Seriously?" "Seriously. Wait, were you expecting it?" "Wilder, the entire time, they alluded to it." "No, they didn't," he says playfully. Yes, they did. It was so obvious. Honestly, one of the worst twists ever executed." His eyes widen. "You're kidding. Please tell me you're kidding." "No, I'm not kidding," I say. "Seriously, one of the worst." He shakes his head and grips my hips, the playful man that I knew at Camp Haven taking over. "Wow, I'm going to need to remember this. She's hard to impress, folks." I chuckle and then say, "Do you want to come in?" He winces. "God, yes, but I'm not going to." "You're not?" I ask, feeling sad from his answer. "Nope, I'm not. Because if I go in there, I can't promise you that I won't somehow find my hand up your shirt. And then if my hand goes up your shirt, that will lead to me playing with your seriously sexy tits, which then of course would lead to so much more, which would be amazing, trust me, but I have a process here. A process that I'm trying to work through." "Okay," I say, my brows pulling together in confusion. "Don't worry, it's a good process," he says and takes a step forward. He kisses my forehead gently, then continues, "I do have a question for you though, one that I would love for you to answer." "Okay, what is it?" He squeezes me tight and says, "When you were with Matt, what was one thing that made you sad when you were together?" "Why are you asking that?" He tugs on me. "Trust the process, babe." Unsure of where he's going with this, I say, "Okay, one thing that made me sad when I was with Matt was, I guess he never complimented me, even when I dressed up." He nods and softly says, "You deserve better." Then he leans down and kisses me. He pulls away, takes his phone from his pocket, and hands it to me. "What's this?" I ask. "Going to need a selfie with you for my wallpaper." He winks, and for some reason, when I take his phone, it's the first time I notice he's still wearing the bracelet I made him. "You're still wearing your bracelet." He glances down at it, playing with the elastic string. "Yeah, of course I am." He looks up at me. "This bracelet says you're mine. Why would I take it off?" Chapter 29. Wilder. Scotty just got off the subway, be there soon. I pocket my phone and stand outside the building, waiting for Scotty. I thought about picking her up at work, but then decided to let her meet me. All weekend, I sent her text messages, making sure to say good morning and good night, telling her about my day, asking about hers, engaging in thoughtful conversation. She even sent me a picture of her yesterday, sitting on her couch, looking fucking adorable in her tank top as she fanned her face from the heat. I told her that I was going to buy her another AC unit, but she told me not to. I considered disobeying, but I figured she probably got enough of that from Matt, so I practiced restraint and listened. But fuck, it was hard, because I don't like her being so uncomfortable. I looked to the left just in time to see her approaching in a black flared dress with her hair tied back and cute loafers. Smiling, I meet her halfway and pull her into a hug, kissing the top of her head. "Hey, you," I say, and then pull back. "Jesus, you look good." "Oh, this is just..." I grip her chin softly and say, "Pips, you look good, really good. Do not tell me differently." She slowly nods her head, a smile peeking out on her lips. "Thank you." "You're welcome." She playfully tugs on my beanie. "You know it's the summer, right?" Nothing stops me from representing my emotional side. She rolls her eyes but then sweetly kisses my chin and, to my surprise, hugs me. Knowing this girl needs all the affection, I wrap my arms around her and hold onto her tight, kissing the top of her head once again. After a few seconds, she pulls away and smiles. "Where are we?" "Glad you asked," I say as I take her hand in mine. "Come with me." We head up some steps to a brownstone, and I open the door for her, only to press my hand to her lower back to guide her up another set of stairs. "Are you ready to partake in a cooking class?" She pauses. "Wait, really?" Her eyes grow big as pure joy crosses her expression. "Yeah, really. I was looking up different classes, and this one is 6 weeks. I hope you have time to spare, because I signed us up for all 6. "Oh my God, that's so exciting." "Yeah, you want to cook with me?" "I really do." She stands on her toes and kisses me, and the feel of her mouth, her excitement, her gratitude, it hits me differently. I like this. A lot. "Don't stop stirring," I say. "We can't screw this up like the other couples." Decked out in black cat aprons, for no reason other than Scotty said the tied strings in the back resemble a tail, we're in the back of the class, and we're the only couple who has not burnt something yet, or that the teacher, Miss Mary, didn't have to help. But this stage, making the cheese sauce, this is crucial. "Oh, we're not screwing this up," she whispers as she continues to stir the cheese sauce while I sprinkle cheese inside the pot to melt. "Steady, not too much all at once." "We don't want a clumpy cheese." "Fuck no," I whisper. "Our cheese will be the smoothest in all the land. Kings and queens will bow down to it. Pictures will be taken. Autographs will be asked for. And before you know it, there will be billboards around the world with our mac and cheese on full display. Written underneath, it will say, 'They brought the cheese to the table.'" She lets out a laugh and shakes her head. "That's a horrible slogan." "What do you mean?" I ask, insulted. "That's what people like most about mac and cheese, the cheese. So if we state we're bringing the cheese to the table, that implies that we are." I finish sprinkling the rest of the cheese as she continues to stir. Thankfully, we're so good that we can talk and work at the same time. "Sure, I guess." And I continue. "What does the man with the deep voice in the Arby's commercial say? We have the meats." People know, they go there and they're going to get a mouthful of meat, just like I give you a mouthful of meat. She snorts so loud that it gathers attention from other couples. I casually wave at them as they turn around, hovering over their hot plates. "Hey, watch it. We might bring the cheese to the table, but I don't want to bring boogers with it too." She glances up at me, mirth in her eyes. "You bring the meat with piercings." "Proud of it, babe." I kiss the tip of her nose and move behind her back, where I place my hand over hers and begin stirring. Should I start humming Unchained Melody? Have a ghost moment with you. How do you even know that movie? I'm cultured, Pips, so what do you think? I think the other couples would hate us. Jealousy looks ugly on them. It sure does, she says and starts me off with a hum. That was so much fun. Thank you. You're welcome. Don't forget, it's a standing date. Mark it in your calendar, I say. Consider it done. Her hand tugs me closer to her door. Want to come in? Dying to, I say, but I'm not. She pouts, which I think is the cutest thing ever. I do have a question for you, though. She leans against her door and says, Okay. What is one thing you wish you had spoken up about when it came to Matt? Her lips purse to the side as she thinks about it. There were a lot of things, but I guess one of them would be that I wish I asked him to be more affectionate, more loving, to treat me as his wife, not his roommate. I can understand that. I'm sorry he wasn't more affectionate, I say as I move in close, pinning her against her door. I press my hand to her hip and use my other hand to cup the back of her head. His loss, my gain. Then I kiss her passionately. Comfortable? I ask as we both take a seat in the front row seats of the suite that I bought out for the night. She looks around, taking in the baseball field in front of us, the full stadium, the game that's already been playing for 2.5 innings. Yeah. I'm just a little confused. Why? I ask as I open a box of Cracker Jack. If the prize is a ring, she's getting it. Because you never told me you liked baseball. Oh, it's okay. Can be boring at times, but also thrilling when runners are on the field, and there's a possible chance for a goal to be scored. I think it's called a run, she corrects me. I chuckle. Sure. That makes her laugh as well. Are you telling me that I might know more about sports than you? Nah, I'm only kidding. I know all the sports. Go Balls. She laughs again, and the sound is so sweet to my ears. And considering when I first met her, it's such a contrast. There was zero joy in her expression, just worry, maybe a hint of depression. It was as if she was living under a dark cloud the entire time. But now it's different. There's joy in her eyes. There's playfulness. She has no problem laughing and no problem getting lost in the day, in the hours, in the minutes, in the seconds. Well, I'm excited to cheer for the Balls. Because you like balls. Her eyes roll. Your maturity is really showing. I press my hand to my chest. Aw, thank you. She snags my Cracker Jack from me and then pops some in her mouth. You know, if you didn't look so hot eating those, I'd steal them back. But I don't know. Kind of enjoying the view, especially in that skirt. She glances down at her flirty white skirt and then back at me. First time I'm wearing it. Trust me, won't be the last. Your legs look amazing in it. Thank you, she says as her cheeks stain. And I wonder if it will always be like that, if my compliments will always garner a cute, innocent reaction from her. I sure as hell hope so. My phone buzzes in my pocket, so I quickly take a look at it. 1 minute and counting. I slip my phone back in my pocket and then turn toward her. I take the Cracker Jack and offer her a drink. Confused, she says, thank you. You're welcome, drink up, Pips. She eyes me suspiciously. What is going on with you? Nothing. You're lying. Maybe. She chuckles. Okay, so tell me what's going on. Take 5 sips of your drink, and then I'll show you. She eyes me for a few more seconds, probably trying to figure me out, but then she takes her sips and sets the drink down. Okay, tell me exactly what's going on. Thankfully, it's perfect timing as the Jumbotron flashes over a couple. They're framed in a camera shot with Kiss Cam written at the bottom. Smirking, I point to the Jumbotron just as we both come on screen. When she takes in what's going on, I grip her cheek, pull her in, and kiss her wildly. I kiss her like no other kiss Cam has ever seen. The crowd erupts in cheers. I pump my fist to the sky while I continue to kiss her, even with a little tongue, and the stadium laughs. When I pull away, I smirk at her and then lean back in my chair. She blinks a few times and then says, Did we just kiss on a Jumbotron? Yeah, Pips, we did. You can check that off your bucket list. I wink just as my phone buzzes in my pocket. I take it out, and sure enough, There's the picture I was hoping to get. I flash it to her, a picture of us kissing on the big screen, my clenched fist up in the air. Did you plan this entire thing? Of course. As I'm slowly learning, I will do anything that brings you true joy. We have to make sure we're checking things off that list, Pips, because once we do, it means we can add more. Together. How did it go? I catch the football and toss it back to Sanders. Like clockwork, I say. Thank you for helping me score that sweet. It was perfect. After the whole kiss cam thing, we snuggled and watched the game, even though we couldn't care less what was going on. Not a problem. Glad it worked. How do you think she's feeling right now? Good, I say. Last night, when I was at her door, I asked her another question. What was it this time? Asked her what's one thing she wished Matt did different in the bedroom. Perfect. That's the question we were considering, right? To show our progress with her. Yes. And what did she answer? She said she wished he was more adventurous. Sanders nods and tosses me the ball. Ever since I got back from Camp Haven, I've had weekly meetings with him. We talk about me and my relationship with Mika and my mom. He doesn't just focus on marriages, but all kinds of relationships, which I like. And of course, I've been heavily focused on educating myself on what Scotty experienced in her marriage. No man is perfect, so I know I won't ever care for her perfectly. But that man made vows to Scotty. He declared that he'd do everything in his ability to love her well, and he didn't take those vows seriously. It just pisses me off, as not only did she learn to devalue her needs, but her self-confidence suffered terribly. I have also learned that even though she might seem happy on the outside, she's probably comparing every new moment I have with her to her ex. Sanders said it's a natural thing to do, especially when it comes to someone who was in a mentally absent relationship, which is exactly what Scotty endured. Sanders explained to me that being mentally absent from a marriage can dismantle a person's confidence because it makes it seem like they're not important, that they have no significance. And if treated like that for sufficient time, they start adapting those qualities, which is why when I first started complimenting her, she wouldn't accept the compliment. It's why I ask her a question about Matt after our dates, because I don't want her to repeat the same mistakes. I also want to ensure she feels significant, valued, listened to, happy, more adventurous. Do you think you can make that happen? I catch the football and give him a look, making him laugh. What do you think, Sanders? My damn dick is pierced. He lets out a roar of a laugh. Adventurous it is. So is that what you're going to do next as one of the big dates? I think so, I say, thinking back to all the little things we've been doing during the week. Dinners, walks in the park, riding the ferry just to fucking ride it and spend time together. There are moments that I've been capturing with her the last few weeks, and when we're not together, we're constantly texting or talking on the phone. But the big dates, or the dates that are centered around the bucket list that we wrote out at Camp Haven, those are the ones that I've been planning and putting effort into. You ready to get intimate with her? We've already been intimate, Sanders. Well aware, he says. We heard it at the camp. That makes me smile, and I saw you two in the lake. I chuckle, that was hot. I'm surprised that water didn't make everything shrivel up. You know, I'm just that attracted to her, that no cold water could make my dick disappear. Ah, to be young again. I toss the football to him and answer his question. But yes, I am ready to be intimate. I think it's time. We've been doing this for about 3-4 weeks now, and every time I answer no to her request to go into her apartment, I can see her get sadder and sadder. I think it's time. Good, you have everything you need. Yup, I say. I've got everything, just have one question for you. What's that? He asks. I glance around his room, taking in the wreck of an office he maintains. There's something that's been on my mind, ever since we signed up for the marriage camp. What's that? Well, from a quick Google search, I was able to find that your grandparents owned Camp Haven before you. It was a sports camp, right? That's correct. And then it was passed on directly to your mom, right? Yes, he drags out, trying to see where I'm going with this. Of course, being the curious one that I am, I looked up who your mom is. His smile grows wider. Fucking Whitney Martin is your mom. He slowly nods. She was a legend matchmaker in the 70s. Not that you need to know this, but Camp Haven was where the most infamous couples were matched. Olive and Rund, the cat burglars of Brooklyn. Nancy and Hank, the pyramid schemers. Georgina and Tom, the assassins of 8th Avenue. I blink a few times. She matched up felons. He chuckles and then rubs his hand over his cheek. Yeah, she really knew how to join people together with common interests. Please tell me you didn't study at the same school she did. Because I really like Scotty, and if you helped me figure out things with this girl, and she ends up being a night killer. He smirks. About that, he stands. Didn't really go to school for any of this. What? I nearly shout. He shrugs. Yeah, was kind of good at the matchmaking thing in college, where I was studying kinesiology. That's where I met Ellison. Found that I was pretty good at cooling down arguments after a night out at the bars, and, well, went from there. Ellison hooks me up with couples she knows, and, well, the rest is history. Wait, you're serious. He tosses the football in the air. You don't become the best by going to school and studying, you become the best by life experience. He taps the side of his head. Think on that. Hold on, so you've been offering marriage counseling to couples without ever being certified. You know, Wilder, lawyers always tell you to read the fine print for a reason. He winks and then nods at me. Go long. No fucking way. Chapter 30. Scotty. Well, look who decided to show up, Mika says as he places a napkin in front of me. I know, I'm sorry. It's fine, he smirks. I roll my eyes. Apart from spending so much time with Wilder, I've been busy at work. Strangely, everyone has worked harder since the camp. So I can definitely see how taking couples away for marriage enrichment produces greater productivity in the office. Chad has been more subdued, and we haven't spoken about his marriage since coming back, but there's definitely a better work environment now. I know you've been busy, Mika winks. With my brother. He sets some pretzels in front of me and starts making me a drink. It's not what you think. What do you mean? He asks. We haven't been doing anything like that. He pauses mid-burr of tequila and says, What do you mean? You haven't been doing anything like that. He's been holding out on me. Who's been holding out on you? Denise asks as she takes a seat next to me at the bar and pulls me into a hug. My brother, apparently, Mika says. What? Denise asks. He's holding out on you? My God, I thought the reason you weren't around all that much is because you'd been bopping up and down on Mika's brother. I wish, I grumble as Mika hands me my drink. That is not the case. He has only kissed me. I feel like I went back in time to when you're celibate until your wedding night. That's depressing, Denise says as I take a sip of my drink. What's depressing? A very familiar, deep voice says. I nearly spit up my drink as Wilder takes a seat next to me. Hey, Pips, he says and places a peck of a kiss on my cheek. Pips. It's taken me a while, but I now love the nickname. It's said with such genuine affection. Speak of the devil, Mika says with a smirk, almost a knowing smirk. You guys talking about me? No, I say, just as Denise says, yes. Wilder picks up my drink and takes a sip, his eyes going wide. Jesus, Mika, put enough tequila in this. I should have put more given how horny our girl is, because you won't put out. Oh my God, Mika, I nearly shout as Wilder chuckles next to me. He wraps his arm around my waist and he whispers in my ear, sending chills up and down my arms and legs. "You hard up, babe." "What? No," I nervously laugh. "No, I don't know what he's talking about." "Why aren't you boning our friend?" Denise asks, leaning over the bar to look at him. "Because she wants it." His smile grows wider. "I know she does." And his hand grips me tighter. "Dear God in heaven, why is this happening to me? So then what's the holdup?" He casually sips my drink again. "I'm trying to demonstrate her worth to her first." Denise leans back and brings her hand to her heart. "Can you teach Derek to talk to me like that?" "I'll work on it." He pops a pretzel in his mouth and nods at Mika. "You good, brother?" "Good," Mika says. "Want me to get you a drink?" "Nah, I'm leaving soon." "You are?" I ask, feeling sad because he just got here, and I thought he would at least stay for a little while. "Yeah, and you're going with me." "I am." "Yup," Wilder holds my drink out to me. "So drink up." Denise leans forward and whispers in my ear. He has that look in his eyes. A look that says you're about to get fucked. So, we're back at my apartment, I say as I stare through the windshield of his Jeep. "We are." He reaches behind us and pulls up a duffel bag. Is that an overnight bag?" "It is." He moves around to my side, where he opens the door for me and holds out his hand. I take it, and he helps me out of the car and then guides us into the apartment building. When we reach my door, he nods toward it. "You going to invite me in?" "Are you going to turn me down?" "What do you think?" he asks, his voice seductive. "Can't be sure." He chuckles and cups my cheek. "Let me in, Pips." A thrill of excitement shoots through my spine as I unlock the door and let us both in. Keeping my hand in his, he pulls me toward the bedroom after shutting and locking the door. Recently, due to heat exhaustion, I put in an AC window unit in my bedroom. I found one that would fit the window, and right about now, I'm very grateful for it. He takes a seat on my bed and then places his hands behind him and looks up at me. "Strip, Pips." "WH what?" I ask. He's just going to jump into it like that, after not being intimate for weeks. "You heard me, strip." "Right now?" I ask. "You think you can wear that fucking skirt and act like I'm not going to ask you to strip?" He shakes his head. "Nope, time to strip." Nervously, I shift as I tug on my bottom lip. It's been a few weeks since I've been naked in front of him, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling shy. "Do you need help?" he asks. "Just nervous." His expression stays neutral, but he beckons me with his finger. I move in between his legs, and he sits taller, placing his hands on my hips. "Why are you nervous in front of me?" I shrug. "I don't know. I kind of like you and don't want to look stupid." "You kind of like me?" he asks with a cute raise to his brow. "Because I'm going to tell you right now, Pips, I really like you." I chuckle. "That's what I meant, I really like you." And what does that have to do with stripping in front of me?" "Because last I remember, we fucked in a lake." I feel my cheeks heat up. "That was different. We're sort of like a couple now." "Sort of," he shakes his head. "No, babe, we are a couple." "Exactly, and what if, I don't know, you're like, whoops, not like I remembered." The corner of his lips tilts up as he shakes his head. "Trust me, not going to happen." He drags his palms up and over my ass. "Every night, I think about you, Scotty. Every morning when I'm hard as a fucking rock, I think about you. I think about you in the shower. I think about you fucking midday. My mind is always on you. And it's been fucking torture not being intimate with you." "It's been torture for me too," I say as his hands slip under the waistline of my underwear and he slowly pulls them down. I step out of them and slide them to the side. Then, why nervous? Because it feels like the first time again. He shakes his head. "It's not." Then he untucks my shirt and tugs on it, so I pull it up and over my head. His eyes feast on my chest while his hands tug on my ass and force me to take a seat on his lap. He unzips the back of my skirt and lets it fall open while he brings his hands up my sides and to the clasp of my bra, which he undoes. The straps go loose, but he doesn't take it off right away. Instead, he trails his fingers over the cups, slightly past the swell of my breasts, and then up my neck to the back of my head, where he brings my mouth down to his. I sink into his touch, and all the nerves, all the worry, melt away as his lip ring caresses my lips and his tongue swipes across mine. "Fuck," he whispers as his large palm splays against my back. "I've missed this." "Why did you wait so long?" "Because you needed to be loved in a different way." My heart thumps madly. My yearning for this man is growing wild, and everything I was feeling a few seconds ago drifts away as I shed my bra and capture his mouth in mine. He moans against my lips, but then gets lost with me as I push him back on the bed. His hands move under my skirt and grip my ass as I cup his face to make out with him. My tongue dances with his. My fingers thread through his hair, and my pelvis starts rocking over his hardening length. He moves me to my back and hovers over me, letting his hand glide up my stomach to my breast, where he gently squeezes it. Then he lowers his head and takes my nipple into his mouth. He licks, he sucks, he nibbles. He's sending bolts of pleasure through my body with every move he makes with his mouth. "Yes," I whisper as I shift underneath him, looking for more, but he doesn't get the hint. Instead, he moves to my other breast, giving it the same treatment, so I bring my hands to his jeans and undo them, then push them down with my feet, freeing him. I find his length in my palm, and I grip him tightly, lightly pumping. "Fuck," he gasps as his back arches, and he stares down at what I'm doing. When his eyes find mine again, they become feral. He moves off me, sheds the rest of his clothes, and then grabs his bag. Confused, I lean up on my elbows and watch him pull out an iPad. "Sit back," he says, his cock straining between his legs. Still in my skirt, I sit back on the bed, and he brings his bag with him as he hands me the iPad. On the screen is a paused video of two people, naked. I glance at him in shock, and he smiles before tapping play. Seductive music starts playing as the man lays the woman back on the bed and starts kissing her all over her body. "Oh my God," I say, my eyes fixed on the screen. "Spread your legs, babe." I do as he says while I continue to watch the screen, the man spreading her legs and starting to press his tongue against her clit. I'm so fucking consumed by what's going on that I don't even realize Wilder is in the same position until his tongue swipes against my slit. "Oh, God," I sigh as I spread myself even wider. And in unison, Wilder licks me, kisses me, swipes at me just like the man on the screen. The woman writhes under him, playing with her tits, biting her lower lip, moaning ever so slightly. It turns me on so much that I'm throbbing. I'm ready. I could tip over at any freaking point. "Fuck, Wilder," I say, shifting down more. "Oh my God, I'm so close." "Not yet, baby," he whispers and pulls his mouth away. I continue to watch the video, my center pulling and tugging inward, making me feel a deep sense of pleasure that I've never felt before. This is so naughty, so erotic, so positively everything I've ever wanted when it came to. "Oh my God," I say as I sit up and watch Wilder finish slipping a vibrator inside me. But not just any vibrator. The one we won at Camp Haven. He turns it on, and I immediately fall into the mattress as my entire body tenses. Inside, the head of the vibrator swirls against my walls, vibrating at the same time, while the little tongue flicks across my clit, quick strokes that have my pleasure driving fast up my spine. "Jesus, Wilder. Oh my God." "Watch the video, Pips. I want you coming while watching." I suck in a sharp breath, my body tingling, my inner core tensing. "Wilder," I caw. "Keep watching, baby." I glance at him, and he's sliding the orange cock ring over his erection. His chest tenses, his teeth pull on his lip ring, and the muscles in his stomach contract as he lets out a long, deep moan. Forget the people in front of me. Forget the iPad at all. The real view is in front of me as Wilder starts stroking himself, precum already forming at the tip. When his gaze falls on me, he lets out a deep breath and says, "Babe, watch the video." I wet my lips and shake my head. You're what I want to watch. His eyes turn darker, and he takes the iPad from me, sets it to the side, and then straddles my chest, where he strokes himself, faster, harder. Between watching him and the way he loses control to the feeling of the vibrator moving inside me, my orgasm climbs and builds to the point that I'm not sure I can hold on any longer. Fuck, he huffs as his hand lands against the headboard while he continues to pump himself, the muscles in his forearm popping off, his abs defined. The little flicks against my clit, the vibration, the feeling of my feet going numb, my entire body tenses, and I bring my hands to my breasts as my chest lifts up and a moan slips past my lips right before I fall over the edge. "Wilder," I yell as I come over the vibrator, shock wave after shock wave hitting me, causing me to thrash side to side until, "What are you doing?" He removes the vibrator, and then in a second, he's sliding inside me while I'm still contracting. "Motherfucker," he yells as he starts pumping inside me. Between the size of him, the vibration of the cock ring, and how he thrusts so deep inside, I feel my body tense again. Sensations of an orgasm shoot through my limbs, continuing the most delicious feeling I've ever felt as he stiffens, and his cock swells just before he spills inside me. "Fuck me," he groans, lightly pumping until he collapses on top of me, letting me feel his entire weight until he pushes up on his forearms and connects his gaze with mine. His smirk nearly breaks me in half as he kisses the tip of my nose. "Christ, Scotty." Still catching my breath, I say, "You're the one who did this to us." "Yeah, but you're the one that makes it so fucking good." "What did I tell you about wearing clothes to bed?" Wilder says as he walks into my bedroom after going to the bathroom and brushing his teeth. He's completely naked, making it incredibly difficult to keep my eyes on anything but his body. "You know, my eyes are up here," he teases me. "I know, but you're so hot." He chuckles and loops his arm around my waist, pulling me in close. "Why do you think I want you naked? I feel the same exact way about you." He presses his lips to mine, and I loop my arms around his neck, making out with him, loving the feeling of being loved, cared for, worshipped. He makes me feel important, needed, significant, like there couldn't possibly be anything else in this world that could distract him from me. When I pull away, he grabs the hem of his shirt that I put on and pulls it up and over, depositing it on the floor. His hands move up to my breasts, across my nipples, and down to my ass. "Fuck, you're so warm. This is what I want. You naked all the time. Even when I go to work." He tilts his head to the side. "No, this body is for me and me alone." "You claiming me?" I ask. "Damn right. Why do you think I still wear this bracelet? Mine, you're mine." God, I could hear him say that over and over and never get tired of it. He kisses me again, but this time it's a chaste kiss. "Now, I have a question for you." "Okay," I say, "what is it?" "After you had sex with Matt, was there something you craved? Something you might have wanted?" "An orgasm?" I think back to the times when Matt and I would have sex and how he would roll out of bed after, clean up, and then go off to his office. It was so cold. Made me feel used. I nod. "There is something." "What is it?" I look into his eyes and say, "I wanted desperately to be cuddled." His brows shoot up in surprise, but then understanding sets in. He takes my hand in his and slips us into my bed. With my back to his chest, he pulls me into him and drapes his arm over my stomach. "You're telling me he never did this?" "No," I answer. "What a fucking fool." He kisses the back of my neck. Once again, his loss my gain. I sigh into him, realizing just how much I've been missing out on. How much I was sitting in the dark, thinking the way Matt treated our marriage was normal. But if I truly think about it, he was never as attentive as Wilder, even in our early days. And that's the big difference. That's what Wilder has taught me, that I deserve better. That maybe, just maybe, this is where I was supposed to end up all along. You know, there's only one thing left to check off on your bucket list, he whispers. Because we've done a cooking class, a movie in a theater, the kiss cam, skinny dipping, watched some porn, and now, just one more thing. What is it? I ask, not able to remember. Paddle boat. I chuckle. Oh right, because Matt never wanted to do anything fun. Exactly. I turn in his embrace to face him. You really went out of your way to do all those things for me. Pips, I never went out of my way. It's all things I wanted to do. I bring my hand to his cheek. I want to say you're too good for me, but I don't think that's the case, Wilder. You're just perfect. He smiles. That's what I like to hear. Then he leans forward and kisses me. Chapter 31. Wilder. Is today the day? Sanders asks as he puts a golf ball across his office toward a cup we set up. Today is the day, I say. Nervous. I shake my head. No, not in the slightest. You think she's ready? Yeah, I answer. His ball goes off to the right, so I step up to the tee and get in position. What have the last 2 weeks been like? Well, still reeling over the scandal of you not being a real therapist. He rolls his eyes. Grow up. Grow up, I chuckle. Dude, you're selling a scam. And yet, you're still here. I let out a heavy huff. Yeah, I know, something might be wrong with me. Nah, you've just been swooped up by the Sanders effect, trademark. You really have issues. Am I the one with the issues, or are you? He lifts his brow, causing me to laugh. I think I'm the one with the issues. So once again, how have the last 2 weeks been? Moving on with the change of subject, I glance up at him, a smirk on my face. Ah, he nods. No need to say more. I can see from the look on your face that it's been good. Really fucking good, I say. I've stayed at her place almost every night. I've taken her to mine a few, made her dinners. We joined a pinochle league, and we are fucking terrible. Sanders chuckles. But we're learning, and that's all that matters. We're still doing our cooking class and killing it. I've brought her flowers at work, and honestly, I've had the best fucking time. I don't think I've ever been this happy, at least not for a really long time. I felt immense pride when my app sold. It was an incredible experience. But this feeling so connected to a woman that dreams are made of, nothing could ever surpass that. She's simply it for me, and there's both joy and relief in feeling that. I putt the ball and miss terribly, pushing it to the left. Sanders retrieves our balls as he says, "How is Mika?" Doing well. We had brunch with our mom the other day. It was at a restaurant, and I gave Mika an escape route if things got too heavy. He wound up staying through the entire thing, which I was proud of, but fuck was it awkward at first. Sanders chuckles. That's how it usually goes. How did it end? Good, I gave Mom a hug, and Mika stood his distance and waved. But we promised to do it again in a few weeks. That's progress, Sanders says. Little progress, but I was happy about it. When do you think you'll introduce your mom to Scotty? He sets down his golf ball and gets into position. Probably not for a little while, and not before Mika and Mom have a better understanding of each other. I don't want to make Mika feel pressured to make amends because Mom met Scotty. That's really considerate, Sanders says, hitting his ball off the lip of the cup. He snaps his finger in disappointment. Does Scotty know that? Yes, I say. I'm very open and honest with her about everything. Good, I'm sure she appreciates it. She does, I answer and set my ball down. And how are you feeling in general? Everything with Mika, your mom. Are you finding peace? I am, I answer. And that's almost a strange realization, as I hadn't realized my life was lacking peace. I thought I lacked nothing. How wrong I was. I line up my putt and shove the ball into his desk. Shit, I'm terrible at this. I like how feeling internally at peace is allowing me to focus on what Scotty needs and deserves in her life. It reminds me of how my dad loved our family. I miss him, and I wish he'd gotten a chance to meet Scotty. They'd get along very well. Has she found peace? I set my putter to the side and take a seat on the couch. Honestly, I think she has. I've seen a change in her. No longer is she second-guessing herself or turning down compliments. She accepts them wholeheartedly. She has more confidence, she's feeling herself, and she's made great progress with her coworkers too, which I think is a big deal. Why do you think that's a big deal? Sanders asks, lining up another putt. Because at first, she just kept to herself, and I think that was from a lack of confidence and not wanting to engage with men since the last one she was with ignored her. But now, she goes out to lunch with them and has truly made some more friendships, which I think is great. Interesting observation. He putts the ball, and I watch it sail over the carpet and right into the cup. Sanders does a subtle fist pump and then takes a seat across from me. Maybe I should hire you as my assistant. I don't have a degree in the matter, so I would fit right in. Hence why I asked, "When are we going to start jogging?" Scotty asks as we walk hand in hand through Central Park. It's a perfect summer day in New York City. Not too hot, a light breeze, and partially cloudy with the sun peeking out every once in a while. Everyone is out of their apartment buildings having picnics, tossing frisbees, and going for walks. The laughter of kids chirps in the background, the promise of ice cream in the air. I couldn't have picked a more perfect day. And oddly, I had to con Scotty into coming out with me today. Her idea of a perfect Saturday was to lie around her apartment naked and order food in. And I agree. That is the perfect Saturday. But I have one thing I need to do with her, and once we do that, then we can go back to the apartment and do what she wants to do. To get her out here, I told her I wanted to go on a jog through Central Park. It's lame and I'm sure not what she wants to do on a Saturday, but I was telling her I was cramping a bit, and I thought it would help limber me up. She asked if we could take a shower together when we got back to her place, and that was an automatic yes for me. What are we really doing, though? Well, finishing out the bucket list, of course. We turn the corner toward the Central Park boathouse, and I tug her toward the rentals. Wait. She stops and turns toward me. Are we really going for a jog? I smirk and nod toward the paddle boats. What do you think? Eep, she pulls me into a hug and kisses me on the jaw. Thank you. Anything for you, Pips. We walk over to the boathouse rental and rent out a paddle boat, Scotty beaming the entire time. She's so fucking adorable. The way she accepts and displays her joy for the world to see, it's so goddamn cute. I pay for the rental, and we are escorted to the boat, where we carefully get in, me first and then Scotty. We're given a bit of a push, and then together we start pedaling. This is so ridiculous, she says on a laugh as we move around the lake. Ridiculous? I ask. I thought it was supposed to be romantic. You're not holding my hand. How is that romantic? Ah, you're right. I pick up her hand and entwine our fingers. That better. Much. We move toward the center of the lake just as the sun is covered up by a cloud and a light breeze picks up. That feels so nice. She tips her head back, soaking it all in. Thank you for this, for bringing me and checking off the last thing on my bucket list. You're welcome, I say, and then clear my throat. I didn't necessarily bring you out here just for this. She turns toward me now, the boat just floating. You did, she asks, looking confused. No, I had a selfish reason too. What is it? Here goes nothing. With her hand still in mine, I look her in the eyes and say, you know, I didn't realize how monotonous my life was until Mika told me his friend needed a fake husband. Ever since you stepped into my life, you've opened my eyes. You've helped me face my fears and my insecurities, and you've made me really fucking happy, Scotty. And I can't keep it in anymore, so I brought you here because I wanted to tell you that I'm in love with you." Her eyes well up with tears. "I love you, Pips, more than anything, and I needed you to know that, in the middle of this lake in the middle of Central Park." She chuckles and wipes at her eyes. "Had to be here." I nod. "Because we're closing out the bucket list, so it had to be here." She scoots in a touch closer and says, "You think I'm the one who helped you?" She shakes her head. "No, Wilder, you're the one who helped me. You're the one who opened my eyes, who made me work hard to see the person I really am and not the person I thought I was. You were patient, you communicated, you taught me lessons I didn't even know that I needed, and I know I'm a confident woman now because of you." She kisses my knuckles and then says, "I love you. I'm in love with you, and I'm so grateful I have you in my life." My smile stretches across my lips, because hearing those words from her, fuck, it's the best fucking thing I've ever heard. I pull her in, gripping the back of her head. I press our foreheads together and say, "Thank you, Pips. How could I not love you, Wilder? You are everything I didn't know I deserved. You're everything I didn't know I needed," I reply, making her smile. She gently moves her mouth over mine, and I follow her lead as we slowly make out on a paddle boat, drifting in the middle of Central Park. After a few minutes, she pulls away and says, "Maybe we can make a new list, one that we want to cross off together." That's exactly what I was thinking. I kiss her forehead. "And here I thought we were going to be a whole till summer do us part situation." "What does that mean?" she asks on a laugh. "You know, married for the summer, but after that, we were done." She looks me dead in the eyes. I mean, that probably was going to be the case, but I think I knew the minute I felt those piercings, there was going to be no parting whatsoever. I let out a bark of a laugh and nod my head. I'm oddly proud of myself. She kisses me again and whispers, "I love you." "I love you too, Pips." Epilogue. Wilder. "Pips, do you want a drink?" Scotty looks up from where she's painting a portrait of our relationship and shakes her head yes. "The prickly pear," she says with a wink, "coming right up." I head over to where Sanders is leaning against the bar in a three-piece suit, happily looking over all the couples. "You really stepped up the outfit this year for the welcome dinner." Sanders smirks. "It's Velcroed in the back. Wait until you see what I have underneath here." I chuckle. "Oh, I'm sure it's nothing short of amazing." "You've got that right." Sanders nods toward Scotty. "That ring looks good on her." I glance back at my girl, who is wearing a giant yet classy engagement ring that I gave her last weekend. It was the perfect evening. I bought out stockings and had Denise invite her out for drinks. When she arrived, the entire bar was lit up with candles, and I was up on stage, waiting for her on bended knee. I knew the minute I told her I loved her that I was going to marry her, but I had to give her time to adjust to loving me, so I waited and waited. I dated her, we moved in together, we started seeing Sanders for maintenance. And then when I thought the time was right, I started planning the proposal. I roped in Mika and Denise, asked them for their thoughts. We considered coming to Camp Haven and having me propose here, but I thought it would be too much of a spectacle, and that was when Mika offered up stockings. He no longer works there since he's working at a private club now, but he still has connections, and we still frequent the bar together every Friday where we all hang out, so it felt like the right thing to do. And from the look on Scotty's face when she saw me up on the stage, I knew it was perfect. We spent the rest of the night with friends and family, drinking, dancing, and having the best time ever. And now we are here at Camp Haven, where it all started. It does look good on her, doesn't it? I say before I ask the bartender for 2 prickly pears. It's a surprise that we're able to drink on the first night at camp, but then again, Sanders said we are celebrating our engagement, so we are going to take full advantage of it, as well as the sex palace. Yup, We asked for the same cabin because this time, I want to make sure we use every last thing offered in the sex palace, suction cup dildo included. I have plans. Lofty plans, but I have them. It does, and that smile on her face, it's grown and grown with every passing month I've seen you too. Sanders pats me on the shoulder. You've done well, Wilder. You helped her find confidence, and you offered her understanding and patience. But most importantly, you've made her feel seen again. I stare off at Scotty, who is lightly stroking the canvas with her paintbrush drenched in pink. I can't unsee her. She captures my full attention. I can't imagine anyone else ever passing up on the opportunity to talk to her, to joke with her, to spend time with her. She's such a bright light that I never want to lose. Sanders smirks. I'm glad to hear it. Our drinks are set on the bar, and I grab them and offer Sanders a nod of appreciation before walking back over to my girl and taking a seat next to her. I set her drink in front of her and then lean in and kiss her cheek. The canvas is looking great, Pips. She scoffs as she turns toward me, her knees knocking against my thigh. You're being nice. It looks like trash. Nah, everything you touch is gold, babe. She snorts and then sips her drink. You can butter me up all you want. I will not be using the suction cup dildo in the shower. I let out a roar of a laugh. What little faith you have in my convincing skills. Trust me, by the end of these 8 days, you're going to want to take it home. Keep dreaming. Hey, Chad says with a wave as he walks up to us with his arm around his wife, Danielle. We miss you over at Butter Putter. A few months ago, Scotty left Butter Putter and started editing freelance. It started when Sanders was telling her about an article he had to write about his practice and his unusual style of couples therapy. The piece highlighted his office, his techniques, and his values. He asked Scotty if she would take a look at it, and she offered him some very valuable insight, so much so that he recommended her to a few other people, and it trickled down from there. Now she's editing on her own time, giving us the flexibility to travel, something she's been pressing me to do. And we finally did. We took a 10-day trip to Ireland where we toured the entire country, drank too much Guinness, and talked to some sheep while lying in the fields and staring up at the sky. It was a big step for me, being that far from Mika, but with his encouragement, along with Scotty, I made the leap, and I'm so glad I did, because we had an amazing time. I was able to see and experience things I've never seen or done before, and I was able to put my mind at ease, knowing that Mika, who has made leaps and bounds in his life, was going to be okay. We are planning another trip, this one to Edinburgh, Scotland. I know it's not much farther, but baby steps. You know, I kind of miss you guys too, Scotty says with a sly grin. I miss the distinct sound of chino shorts rubbing together as you all moved about the office. Chad laughs. I can record it for you if you want. Scotty holds up her hand. Really, I don't want to trouble you. She then turns her attention to Danielle. How are you feeling, Danielle? Is the morning sickness gone? She nods and rubs her stomach. Yes, thankfully. Now she's in the fun phase of pregnancy, Chad says, wiggling his eyebrows, causing Danielle to elbow him in the side. It was a long year for them, Scotty being at the forefront of helping Chad by being a close confidant to talk to. They would often go to lunch during the week and talk, Chad airing out his fears about losing his wife while Scotty told him about her fears of falling in love. She was very open and honest with me about it all, which I appreciate about our relationship. Thankfully, Chad and Danielle were able to work things out and then went on a trip up to the Finger Lakes. And well, that's apparently where they got pregnant. Chad joked around about naming their baby after one of the lakes. I don't know. Skegnatels, Cayuga, and Owasco just don't have a good ring to them. And hey, congratulations are in order, Chad says, nodding to my ring on Scotty's finger. When Scotty sent me a picture, I was elated for you too. Thanks, man, I say, finding it odd that just a year ago, I was ready to drive this man's head through a tree trunk. We're really happy. Chad places his hand on Danielle's stomach. Well, if you need a ring bearer or a flower girl, you know where to find us. Then, with a wink, he takes off. You know, that's not that bad of an idea, I say. Think of the little chino pants and embroidered vest the baby could wear. Scotty laughs. It could be one of those 27 dresses type things, but instead of bridesmaid dresses, all the guys I worked with have to wear their chino shorts and company vests. Babe, I don't think you've ever had a better idea. Wow, the bar is pretty low then. Yeah, that's okay. We have the rest of our lives for you to raise it. She rolls her eyes and turns away, but I wrap my arm around her and pull her into my chest while kissing the top of her head. Love you, Pips. She chuckles, love you too, Wilder. When I release her, I lean in and whisper, I spoke to Sanders last week. He said we could have the tent again this year, but maybe this time we sleep naked. Why? So I can accidentally zip your dick up into the sleeping bag. I gasp jokingly. No, not the return of the cereal zipper. Threaten me with the suction cup dildo. And yeah, she might come screeching in, looking to do some damage. Babe, I say levelly, just give it a try. I bat my eyelashes at her. For me. She palms my face and pushes me away. Not going to happen. 3 hours later. So do I need to tell you I told you so? I ask as I try to catch my breath. Scotty turns off the shower and pushes at my chest with her finger. Mutter those words, and consider this your last shower with that flesh sword. I hold my hands up. Noted. Smirking, I add, but Pips, that shit was good, wasn't it? She smirks and wraps her towel around her torso. No, Wilder, it was great.